It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening. It's time! Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner.
Right there, hold on, right there. Boom, I faked him. Whoa, whoa, that was, whoa. I'm back.
But Mama Babo, how you say that name?
I'm going to go home tonight. I'm going to drink a Coors Light.
Fighting out of the red corner.
I completely dominated that fifth round. That fifth round want me to fight.
From the bottom of my heart, I'd like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody.
It's time!
The #1 MMA show in America. Caged in MMA.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Caged in MMA. As you know, I'm your host, Errol Marks, and my co-host, Anthony Anderosi. Remember, you can reach us by going to our website at www.worldwidesportsradio.com. You can call us at 631-965-4990. And remember, guys, if you don't have our app, well, guys, download our app. You go to iOS, and you go to, well, iOS is Apple, and you go to WWSRN, or you could do this. You can go to Android and download us by going to search Worldwide Sports Radio Network. Download the app. You can follow us. You can listen to our shows, the clips of our shows. You can read our stories. Shout out to Jillian and our great team right now of social media people. As you know, Jillian and Ricky, and all our writers from Brad, Brandon, George, Bobby, all of them. Shout out to all of them that write our stories and really get our content out there. Mr. Anderosi, what's going on, my friends?
Doing good, buddy. How you been?
I'm tired. As you guys know, we started a little bit late today. We had a couple of technical difficulties, but we have it fixed and it's up and running. We have a great show lined up for you today. We have Bellator fighter Tara Graff joining us at 6:45. We'll talk about her career, talk about her upcoming fights, and talk about what's going on in mixed martial arts. But before we do that, I want to get into UFC 249. And I right now, we've seen in the last week and a half, we've seen two cards. We saw one, the main event of Justin Gaethje and Tony Ferguson, which we'll get into in just 1 second. And that was the top of that card. And then there was the, I guess you could say, Wednesday night fights for ESPN, which was very interesting to say the least. But before that, let's go into UFC 249, and me and you have had our thoughts to it. So before I, argue your thoughts to it, what did you think about UFC 249?
Argue my thoughts? I think we're pretty much going to be on the same page with it. It was pretty predictable, with the exception of the main event, which, let's be real, Ferguson blew it. He blew it. That was definitely not the Tony Ferguson you were expecting. That was definitely not the Tony Ferguson anybody was expecting. Homeboy looked like he was waiting for an alien invasion. The only thing missing was him jumping out of the highway, out of his car with his family watching him and such, because I don't know what the hell he was doing. He definitely made Gaethje, and if everybody wants to start drinking the Kool-Aid, they made Gaethje look like
the superstar,
the next big thing.
Mm-hmm.
The next big thing, as if he had, super strength and this and that, rather. And let's be real, it's about opportunity. You blew it. Now you got to go back to the back of the line. And hopefully you can recover from this, or you're going to be going back into obscurity, waiting for the next big thing to come along. So hopefully you could do what these guys did on the Ultimate Fighter fight nights, where you had, I call it, the geriatric push. You had a bunch of guys 40 plus making these young pups look like rookies. So, what's your take of the main event?
My take is I feel bad for Tony Ferguson. I really do. And I think Tony Ferguson is a great fighter. And I'm going to put Jeff on because I know Jeff has his own thoughts of what happened at UFC 249. But I will say this.
That's our Florida correspondent. He was probably on location.
Well, he was
probably
on
saw
location.
the aliens outside that Ferguson was running around.
I don't know about aliens outside, but I will say,
like I said, he's one step away from Area 51.
I will say that I feel bad for Tony Ferguson because he lost his chance to fight Khabib, and I don't think he'll ever fight Khabib again. And we've said this over and over again. I think he got screwed. And maybe he wasn't ready for this fight, or maybe he just rushed into this fight, or he was fighting, he thought he was fighting Khabib, because I don't know what the heck he was doing. He fought a guy that is a great stand-up fighter, who has a lot of power. And if I was Tony Ferguson, I would have taken Gaethje down to the ground and completely dominated him on the ground. He decided to stand up with him and fight toe-to-toe with him, and that's why he lost the fight. And there is a story coming out that Tony Ferguson, to avoid optical bone surgery after UFC 249, which is something that you thank God that happened, because now you could see Tony Ferguson coming back maybe in a couple of months and getting back into the octagon and maybe proving himself again. But I feel bad for Tony Ferguson. I really do. Jeff, what do you think?
Man, I'm disappointed in you, Anthony.
Listen. I was 4 for 5 on the parlay. Okay, Ferguson screwed me. I don't feel bad for Ferguson. I would have been 5 for 5. Your stimulus check would have been doubled, possibly tripled.
I legit asked you. I said, I don't know much about Gaethje. I even called you the expert. I called you an expert. Oh, this was just bad.
Okay,
right?
listen.
And I said, I don't know much about it. And you're like, yeah, he doesn't even have a chance. You were like, let's be honest. Maybe he can hit him and knock him out back to death. Dude, Gaethje steamrolled Ferguson.
And I'm not disagreeing that. Why do you think, as I said, I don't know what the hell he was doing?
Well, I don't think Ferguson knew where he was. I really don't.
Do you think anybody expected this to happen?
No. But that's what's great about fighting.
Let alone this bad. He didn't show up. I don't feel bad for him. This was his opportunity. It was his fight to lose.
Well, hold on 1 second. This wasn't his opportunity. His opportunity was against Khabib. He got screwed, and he decided not to run from this fight. He decided to step into the octagon, something that Khabib did not do.
Okay.
And he obviously got his butt whipped.
Okay. But here's the thing. Did anybody put a gun to his head saying he had to do this?
Absolutely not. But again, that wasn't his title shot. He should still have his title shot. Whoever wins the Gaethje a Khabib fight, or besides that, or maybe Conor McGregor, whoever wins that fight against Gaethje and Khabib, then Ferguson should have his opportunity. Ferguson got screwed. He absolutely got screwed on this fight.
He screwed himself.
Why?
Because he didn't show up.
He did show up. The problem was he fought a guy that he wasn't ready for.
Oh, what do you mean wasn't ready for? Do you know what that sounds like? Is dealing with Gaethje opposed to Khabib? Khabib is a dominant fighter. Gaethje is not. He's not. Don't get me wrong. Just like any pro fighter in the UFC, yes, you're in that top
Gaethje
percentage.
has more power than Khabib. He has a lot more power than Khabib.
Mr. All-American Tony Ferguson, collegiate All-American, what part of his brain disconnected to say, I'm a wrestler, let me turn into a boxer at this one point? Let me give this guy a chance, knowing he's a stand-up guy. In what possible occasion do I think I have a chance dealing with this kid, rather than just take his ass down, smother him, lay and pray if I have to for 5 rounds, or just get on top of him and beat the hell out of him? He didn't do any of those. He didn't. Okay? He made the choice. Plain and simple. That's why I don't feel bad for him. And here's the thing. If it was a situation, since everybody said, oh, it's so cool you could hear the corners and this and that. Not once did you even hear the stupid-ass coaches tell him, why the hell aren't you taking him down? Not once.
Well, I told you Ferguson runs that corner. He doesn't listen to his coaches. Ferguson is the coach.
So then there you go. I don't feel bad for him. You don't want to. You hire coaches, you don't want to listen to him? Fine. Then don't.
How could you not feel bad for the kid?
Have a water boy in the corner.
How could you not feel bad for the kid when he didn't have to fight this fight?
Then
fought
he
this
shouldn't
fight.
have.
Well, that's again. He was a guy that actually had the balls to get into a ring with Justin Gaethje, who had nothing to lose.
And he lost.
Yeah, he lost. And again, he gets screwed because he lost the fight that he didn't have to fight.
2 hands and a brain.
Did Conor McGregor decide?
Work
Did Conor McGregor decide to fight UFC 249? No, he didn't. No, he didn't. Because
did they offer him anything?
How do you know that? How do you know? How do you know?
I guarantee you they didn't offer anything.
How do you know? We don't know.
Because the money fight wasn't there, and they're saving him for ticket sales. because Dana White is a businessman.
Yeah, he's a stupid businessman.
He's not?
He's a stupid
You're telling me
businessman.
he wouldn't... Jeff, are you still there?
He's there.
Jeff,
He's here. He's
tell
listening.
me if this makes sense. Do you really think Conor McGregor would be wasted on a show where there's no gate, no ticket sales or anything, just pay-per-view money?
So wait a second. You're going to wait. So you're going to wait about, I don't know, a year before Conor McGregor gets into the octagon?
No, July.
July. Oh,
July.
There's not going to be any crowds in July either.
How do you know that?
I guarantee you there won't be any crowds.
We just had an empty arena.
And you're going to see that in July
Fight
as well.
Island.
And you're
Fight
gonna,
Island.
And you're going to see that in July as well.
You don't know who they're going to allow on Fight
I'm
Island.
telling you right now, they're not going to have a crowd out there in July. They're not.
They could have little rafts out there.
Rafts?
Spectating. And
Oh, is that what they're going to be doing, sitting in
it
rafts?
happens at Candlestick Park.
You're out of your minds.
Well, no kidding. You're out of your mind if you think this is not fair for Tony Ferguson.
It's not fair.
Poor Ferguson. Give me a damn break. He could have just put the screws to Dana White and said, you want to know something? If it's not Khabib ain't fighting, I'm not fighting.
Again,
He could have did it.
Tony Ferguson wasn't going to back away from a fight. He's a real, true fighter. He's not.
And
Khabib.
he lost.
And I don't want to hear Khabib sending him Twitter messages after the fight. Don't worry, you're still a great fighter. Your son's always going to respect you, because he's taking a shot. Khabib is taking a shot at Tony Ferguson because he knows he ducked and weaved Tony Ferguson. He absolutely did, because he could have been there in UFC 249.
We're not disagreeing on that.
Again, that just shows you how big of a you-know-what Khabib is. That's what you see.
But we're not disagreeing.
He didn't step in the octagon, but Ferguson did, and he got his butt whipped because he wasn't ready for a fight.
And I hate to
he
break it
wasn't
to you,
ready for that fight.
And Khabib is not going to fight Gaethje.
Technique.
You know why?
Why?
The new excuse.
No,
I'm
he's
sorry
fighting.
to say.
He'll
I'm
beat
sorry
Gaethje.
to say it's a new
He'll
excuse.
beat Gaethje because he'll be ready to take him down.
He may
He will.
beat Gaethje, but he will not fight Gaethje next.
He will fight Gaethje.
There will be something that prevents him to fight Gaethje next. And it's amazing how now it turns into, and I'm sorry to say, and I'm not trying to say he's using this as an excuse, but why not? He's used everything else as an excuse. His father's sick. He's going to leave his father now? He missed the fight to go there when nobody was sick.
Did you see what
So now he's
McGregor
gonna
wrote?
miss it?
Did you see what McGregor wrote?
I think it was a nice little
It was a
thing.
that's another shot. McGregor doesn't give a crap about his father.
He doesn't have to.
He doesn't give a crap about his father. So again, you're seeing Khabib do it to Ferguson, and now Conor McGregor do it to Khabib, and it's becoming a whole world circle of win. I think there should be a round robin fight where you have Khabib and you do a round robin of the guys at the 155 division all the way to whoever is the champion. I really do believe that, because I think Tony Ferguson got screwed on this fight. He
But
really
what
did.
is it- what is the
he
part of
lost
being
the fight
screwed?
because he stepped in the ring when he wasn't training for that fighter. This guy was training for the last 3 months to fight Khabib. He's a different style of fighter. There was a complete mismatch because he thought he could stand up with Gaethje, because he didn't watch enough. I guarantee you, he didn't watch enough video of Gaethje. He just wanted to.
You need that much video on Gaethje?
Absolutely.
Now here's the thing. What the hell is video going to tell you? What's video going to tell you?
As a stand-up fighter, a lot.
Okay, but here's the thing.
You know
What is
about
preventing
fighting. You
You're
know
damn
about
right
fighting.
I do. And here's the thing. That's why I don't buy this BS about watching video or anything like that. He decided to get into the ring. He lost. Sorry, boo-hoo. You screwed up. You're a wrestler. You didn't wrestle. Flat out. If he would have went in there and took him down, we all know how dominant position is when it comes to judging. And hate to break it to you, but the judges sucked on this card. Plain and simple.
I can't wait to hear what you got to say about the co-main event.
They were sucker enough to get taken down and sit there and not do anything, and ultimately, ride out a decision, which he should have did. Instead, he didn't. He gave Gaethje the opportunity to stay into the fight. Plain and simple. If you're not going to listen to your coaches, get a bunch of Bobby Boucher water boys to just sit there and just be yes men. Because unfortunately, this is not the way you're going to become a champion or hold a damn belt. It's not going to happen. Not going to happen. So he could go boo-hoo all he wants. Now he's not going to get bone orbital. He's not going to get the orbital bone fixed. Great. It's going to go snap, bubble, and snap, crackle.
It doesn't
pop.
need to be fixed. It's
it
fine.
Doesn't need to be fixed.
No, it doesn't.
Okay. Whatever the hell is going on. Plain and simple.
It doesn't require surgery.
Tony Ferguson is now no longer on the table. Plain and simple. It's Gaethje. It's
Eric
McGregor.
Clark. Tony got screwed. I agree with you, Eric. I absolutely agree with you. I think he got screwed.
What is it if that got screwed?
Because he was. Listen, he stepped in the octagon.
He chose to.
He chose to because right now they didn't have a main event. So what he did is he stepped up to the table, something Khabib did not do. Khabib didn't stand up to the table. This is the champion. If you're a champion, you stand up as a champion. Get in the octagon and fight like a man. Stop being a P-U-S-S-Y. And you want to say pussy. That's what he was.
That's the problem. He stood up. That's the problem. He stood up, and he got the hell beat out of him.
Because he wasn't ready for the fight.
I mean, is your argument, Anthony, like, honestly, is your argument that the training doesn't matter, that you can just, as long as you worked out and whatever, that you don't need to prepare for an opponent?
At this level, here's the thing.
Anybody? Like, is that the argument you're trying to
make? The argument that I have is you do not need 12 weeks of one style of training to deal with one fighter. It doesn't work that way, because just like anything else, and in a lot of different sports, things change in there, and you have to adapt. Plain and simple. This kid is standing. You're a wrestler. He didn't attempt any shots. So if he didn't get stuffed, there's no reason to say I'm giving up on wrestling. Do you know what I'm saying? That's why I'm so adamant about this. You're
adamant, all right.
You're damn right I am.
You are.
Because this is that BS that we usually hear with all this, he didn't deserve to win, I got screwed, boo-hoo, boo-hoo, boo-hooed. You didn't, if you knew you were going to have such a goddamn problem with this, and you were waiting for Khabib for the last 5 years, okay? You've been training for Khabib for 5 years. You still went in there against other guys like Cowboy and everything. You didn't have a problem beating them, but now because you lost, now it's boo-hoo.
He had 3 months to trade for Cowboy. 3 months.
So?
He had 2 weeks to train for Justin Gaethje.
You knew Khabib wasn't. Khabib was in Russia in Valentine's
All right,
Day.
So Ferguson stepped up to the plate and he wanted to fight. And now you want to know something? I think it shows you how big of a man Ferguson is to step into an octagon with a guy who had nothing to lose and everything to win, and Ferguson had everything to lose. And you know damn well he had nothing to lose, Justin Gaethje. Nothing.
No, he didn't.
You got to say that Dana White didn't really do him any favors either, because Khabib is more of a wrestler, and if you've spent time preparing for a wrestler and then you get a stand-up fighter like Gaethje, like, you've really been thrown off.
But Jeff, what stopped him? What stopped him from shooting in? What stopped him from shooting in? The guy's standing there. He's a boxer. His legs are very close together. He's good for a double leg that you could drive right through him, push him up against the cage, pull one leg out, post up, and everything like that. So as easily as I explained it to you, and just like that, why didn't he even attempt to wrestle? Instead, he's doing some weird spinning around crap. Looked like he was getting ready for Kung Fu Theater. So what? That's what was going to be Khabib? Tell me that's what's going to be Khabib. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Ferguson.
Are you just bitter because you gave Justin Gaethje no shot?
He's bitter.
I'm bitter because he lost crybaby crap. Because he screwed up my parlay.
That's exactly why he's pissed off, because his parlay got screwed.
I don't blame Justin Gaethje or Tony Ferguson. I blame Anthony Andriozzi for screwing up my parlay.
Do you know what's amazing? This is why Jeff is one of my favorite people.
Oh,
he said my last name correctly.
I said Andriosi.
He didn't say Andriosi. He said Andriosi. Amazing. Do you see the type of intelligent callers we have?
I grew up in Rhode Island with all you guineas everywhere. Like, I know what a Dorezzo is. I know.
And he learns. And he learns. He's an educated fan.
Oh, and I'm not educated? What are you trying to say that?
Oh, Christ. Are we going to go down the chopped liver thing? Here we go.
Now he's taking shots at me, Jeff. Oh, my God. Jeez.
You don't know how to say anyone's name.
I don't. I'm very bad with names. I've admitted it.
I think he actually has a bias towards hockey players' names, though.
No, I'm actually very, very bad at pronouncing hockey players' names.
Errol's on his third attempt at Rosetta Stone English.
I'm a little lost with that, too. But I do believe that Tony Ferguson got screwed on this fight. But again, he decided to step into the octagon and fight Justin Gaethje. I just feel bad for him because, unfortunately, he's not going to get that opportunity against Khabib, which everybody really couldn't wait for. And now all of a sudden, now you're talking about Nate Diaz, you're talking about Conor McGregor, you're talking about Justin Gaethje. That's what you're talking about. You're not even talking about Tony Ferguson falls all the way to 6 or 7.
And here's the thing. You're probably going to see Ferguson have to fight possibly a Dustin Poirier.
He'll beat Dustin Poirier.
I'm not saying that he won't. I'm just simply saying the next matchup that he'll probably have, you'll probably see him have to do something like that before they just throw him right in the mix.
I just think it's messed up. And Ferguson's always gotten the bad stick. Always gotten the bad stick by the UFC. I feel bad for the guy, but he also believes that aliens are going to conquer the world, and he leaves
And obviously, he thought the same damn thing last week. So
I don't believe what
he
you're
was
saying.
running around that damn ring like Ricky Bobby with an imaginary fire on him.
Well,
it was amazing.
Again, I feel bad for the kid because I do believe that he should have the opportunity to fight Khabib. And now you sit back and you see Dana White. Dana White's laughing to the bank because I don't really think he likes Tony Ferguson. I really don't. And he's happy that Tony Ferguson's never going to fight Khabib because Khabib has been ducking and weaving him for the last 6 years. And he's going to keep ducking and weave him until he does fight him. And by then, Ferguson is going to be washed up and he's not going to be ready for that fight either. So I just feel bad that this kid doesn't get his real shot. He has been working to get that title shot.
Now,
He
when you
went
say you feel
8-0,
bad about that, when you say you
8-0.
feel about that, I agree with you. Not I feel bad that he got screwed in this fight. So we could agree to disagree. But yes, we both feel bad that he will never fight Khabib ever. At least not on this planet. So, which might bode well for him. Because he's already on freaking Saturn. That's obvious.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Jeff, what do you have to say about that?
I don't have much to say about it. I laughed
Errol.
out at Anthony and blamed him for losing my parlay, and I'm sorry.
I got another parlay coming.
It really was my fault I lost the parlay because, I allowed myself to believe that you could possibly be an expert, and that's on me.
So when he goes 5 for 5 on this parlay, then I'm an expert again.
Oh, man.
Just the way it goes.
Oh,
You're only as good as the last money you
I
make.
specifically asked you about Gaethje, and your mind was in a pretzel. I don't know where you were on that one.
Yeah, he's a little lost. He really is. But, again, I feel...
We're all focusing on those fights, but can we talk for a second about how good Greg Hardy...
What are you doing over there? What are you, swimming or something?
Say that again, Jeff.
I am outside. I need to have a burn down a smoke here.
No, what'd you say about instead of complaining about those fights, what were you saying?
Can we talk for a second about how Greg Hardy is starting to actually look pretty good fighting?
Well, Greg Hardy, he looked better. I don't know about good. He looked better. Greg Hardy, and you want to know something?
He was a defensive end, and then all of a sudden he showed up one day and called himself a fighter, and his first few fights were clearly mismatches. But now he's actually starting to fight fighters and win.
Well, DeCastro was a decent contender. DeCastro was a decent contender. That first round, he gave Hardy some problems.
Until he listened to Daniel Cormier on the sidelines.
That was the stupidest thing I ever heard in my entire life, especially because Castro broke his foot. So in terms of Hardy adapting of not getting kicked anymore, I'm glad how Hardy
Finally, I thought how to check a kick.
Hardy was even though he's got American Top Team over there in his corner.
Oh my God!
But the voice of reason is DC. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That's the perfect guy. That's the perfect guy to listen to. By the way, perfect guy. Daniel Cormier. Daniel Cormier is a wrestler. That's what he is.
Daniel Cormier was waiting for Stipe to get stripped of his title so he can set up a vacated bout. I'm sorry, a bout for a vacated belt against Nagao and him. But he didn't say anything about a rematch with Stipe.
And I realized it was like an undercard fight and it wasn't part of like the main pay-per-view kind of thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I got to give it to Vincente Luque. He lumped up Nico Price.
Yes, he did.
Yes, he did.
Yes, he did.
Swell up like that in a long time.
Yep.
Well, Joanna, she had a real bad contusion on her face, man. She was.
I mean, but Nico
bad.
Price's face was just completely rearranged, dude.
Absolutely. You know, I'm just, to me, I felt like the card was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. I love the kid Mitchell. I really do. I've said this over and over again. I like this kid. I don't know until he fights a big top contender. We'll see what he can do against a top contender, but I love what I saw when he was in the octagon. I love his ground game, and you could say whatever you want, Anthony. He tapped out a black belt. A black belt. And he didn't just tap him out.
Mitchell, didn't he fight that kid Rosa? Because I was impressed.
He fought Rosa.
Yes.
He basically controlled Rosa for 3 rounds.
Kept trying to submit Rosa, and then Rosa kept like slipping all the submissions he try.
He did, but Rosa is he's a bona fide black belt, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. Mitchell's not even a purple belt. I mean, that guy's not even a purple belt.
Mitchell is just a grappler.
He is a great grappler. He is a great grappler.
And here's to show how dominant he is. You had a 30-24 fight. 30-24 does not happen. He had 3 10-8 rounds. 3 10-8 rounds is, as I've said before, the judge's underhanded way of telling
You're a judge, so you know.
The judge's underhanded way of telling the referee this fight shouldn't be happening. This fight should not be happening.
He's a judge, not an expert.
No, I'm in the non-expert Hall of Fame. That's what happens. So.
Jeff, why don't you call back?
It was really disappointing to get to like 11:30 at night, and I was like, "That's it, it's over." I'm like, I put $250 down on my parlay,
and you up to that point you were 4 for 4, right?
What's that?
Up to that point you were 4 for 4.
Buddy, I was like, I'm gonna love this. I'm gonna cash $5,000. You know, like you put $250 on the parlay, you're doing pretty darn good, right? I get there, I'm like, oh, dude, Ferguson. They're like, Gaethje has no shot. Why? Because I allowed myself to believe an expert told me something, right? And I was like, oh, this is like money in the bank. I'm loving this. And I'm really just waiting for you to PayPal me now my refund.
In all honesty, let's be real. If 25 on that five fighter parlay, if $25 got you, how much did you put down? $250. $250. So he was looking at like $3,500.
David Gross says never seen a 30-24 match. He's never seen that before.
And Dave Gross would know. Dave Gross has been a judge in MMA for quite a while, WK, ISKA, and I don't think he's ever given. And Dave, I don't think you've ever had the opportunity to give a 30-24 round. I don't think any of us have.
That's how dominant Mitchell was. He was very impressive. Very, very impressive. I was very impressed.
I think what you guys should both do is really go back and listen to last week's show and really see how emphatic Mr. Andriozzi was about how Gaethje didn't have a chance.
I know how emphatic I was. I spent a good 5 minutes of saying, even though the unlikely chance, there is a puncher's chance, it would never happen. I believe I said that, correct?
I think you even went further. You were like, don't do it.
Did I swear on my life, possibly?
I think you might have.
Possibly. That's how disappointing I am actually with myself, just to let you know.
How emphatic you were about the whole thing. And to be honest, I mean, Errol just dominates you now. You're no longer the expert.
Well, I will say this. When I talk to Jeff off air, he says he loves you. He thinks you're great. He really does.
He does.
He really does.
I'm sure he does.
But
so
he's kind of upset at you.
When he goes 5 for 5 on this one, because the odds are even better on this one, just letting you know, Jeff. All right. So your 250 on this one will actually be like $5,000.
I take all 5 favorites in this one, too.
No, I didn't. I actually didn't. You'll see. You'll see. Go to the Instagram right now. You'll see it on the Instagram right now. I actually posted it already. I believe you have, 3 favorites and 2 underdogs.
For an Italian guy, you're pretty shit at running numbers here. Like, your handicap is way off.
He's not a betting man. When he started the show, he says, I only bet like $2-3. Don't tell my wife.
That was on Daily Fantasy. Daily Fantasy. That was on Daily Fantasy, too.
And now all of a sudden he's... Go ahead.
See, I have a separate account for my gambling, right? Like, I take, whatever I get, I put a little aside in a separate bank account for gambling. And, and that has stayed true even during this COVID period. So I had, built up a little equity there, a little extra equity than normal, because obviously there's no gambling. And, I trusted you, Anthony. And honestly, I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
Jeff.
I love how he goes with the disappointed, because that's going to be worse than being angry. He's treating me like the teenager, like hearing from his father. We don't hate you. We're not upset with you. We're not going to punish you. We're just very disappointed.
No, I think the disappointment comes from like allowing myself to be fooled that you knew what you were talking about. I should have known better. This one's on me.
Don't worry. I will persuade you enough to get fooled again and take my 5 fighter parlay tonight.
tomorrow.
Well, who are you taking in this fight?
Hold on, Jeff.
We'll get to that. We will.
Jeff,
get to that.
we're going to get to that. We have to get our special guest on the show. Call back after our guest, okay?
I believe that's what they call a tease in the radio business.
That's right.
No, it's called. We got the guest waiting, and she's going to get pissed. That's what it's called in the radio business, and I'm not a radio guy.
Stay tuned and actually call up after, and you can we can argue that point for Saturday's fights.
What expert would I be listening to if I were to stay tuned?
Jeff, stay tuned for that too. Jeff, stay tuned for that too. You just don't know. We're like the shell game right now. It's not. You don't know.
All right, Jeff. We'll talk to you soon. Jeff from Tampa.
See, the difference is you get pissed off. I laugh.
Well, I don't get pissed off.
Last week you were getting ready to kill someone.
Oh, stop! I don't really take.
You
Jeff
took a commercial
serious
break
at all.
and then you ran around with a knife.
Oh, get out of here! I never did. That is such a you know what, crock of you know what. Anyways, up next, our special guest, very well known in the MMA world, and she's a Bellator fighter, Tara Graff, here with me and Anthony Androssi. Yes, Andriosi.
There we go. You
Listen,
got goosebumps.
listen.
I got goosebumps.
Yeah, I'll give you goosebumps.
Look at my hair and guinea arm. I got goosebumps.
I'll give you a rear naked chokehold during the break. That's your goosebump. And when she gets on the phone, she's going to be like, "Where's Anthony? He's sleeping in the corner."
Oh,
Up next, Tara Graff. As you guys know, you can reach us and call us at 631-965-4990. Again, the number is 631-965-4990. And follow us by going to our website at www.worldwidesportsradio.com. Up next, Tara Graff here on the great Caged in MMA.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening. It's time! Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner.
Right there, hold on, right there. Boom, I faked him. Oh, whoa, that was, whoa. I'm back. But, Mama Babo, how you say his name?
I'm going to go home tonight. I'm going to drink a Coors Light. Fighting out of the red corner.
I completely dominated that fifth round. That fifth round want me to fight.
From the bottom of my heart, I'd like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody.
It's time!
The number one MMA show in America. Caged in MMA.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. As you know, I'm your host, Errol Marks, my co-host, Anthony Andriosi, whatever you want to call your name. You see,
that was
now
even worse.
Yeah, because you keep telling me to
change.
You keep telling me to try to correct my, the way you pronounce your name.
Jittery.
Yeah, you're
Don't
annoying.
get jittery.
You're annoying sometimes.
Don't be scared.
You are annoying sometimes.
Don't be scared.
Because I had your name down pat. Now you're making me
You
think.
had it down pat the wrong way. It was beautiful. You had your own little, like, je ne sais quoi on it. It was great.
Anthony Androssi. I like that.
There you go. I could take that.
That's the one. And you keep telling me that's the wrong way of pronouncing your name.
I was very impressed by Jeff.
Oh, screw Jeff. How's that sound? Screw Jeff.
That's a terrible thing to say after he just called
As you guys know, this is Caged in MMA. I'm your host, Errol Marks, and my co-host, Mr. Anthony Androssi. You can call us at 631-965-4990, as you guys know, and follow us by going to our website at www.worldwidesportsradio.com. Now you can introduce our special guest. Go ahead.
Well, it is my pleasure to bring in probably since 2015, she was the most highly touted recruit to get on fight cards everywhere. Call it what you want. It's the truth. And if there's any promoters out there, they were all probably kicking themselves because they were all trying to get her and they couldn't, especially up here in New York. I know a lot of guys that were trying to get her on a fight card and it just didn't happen. And now she's in Bellator. Some fighters are getting injuries to duck her.
Are you going to introduce her or what?
Of course. The ridiculously talented Tara Graff. Tara, you there?
What's up, guys? Thank you for having me on.
Happy New Year.
Dude, really?
I'm the funny guy, okay?
Really?
I gotta be serious.
You're the
here.
only one laughing.
I have some fun, man. I like to have some fun.
Jesus. Anyway.
I don't know about Happy New Year. I don't know what's going on with this New Year.
Well, you're right. It's not happy. That's for sure.
How in the meantime, while everything is shut down, how is everything going? You know, how are you able to train on your own and such? How's everything going on down there?
It's going. I got to make do with what I got. My boyfriend is my head jiu-jitsu coach and one of my MMA coaches, so it makes it a little easier, having a live-in coach as well. But on the downfall to that, he just had some knee surgery. So, yeah, back to square one. No, I have mats in the basement, so I try to, to keep rolling a little bit, keep weightlifting, keep running, keep moving. I got to stay ready. I have my bob bag and my heavy bag out in the garage that I like to go smack around a little bit. So, I'm staying active.
Could you smack around Anthony? Could you please? Use him as a punching bag. This big teddy bear over here.
Dude.
Only if he signs a waiver.
Sign a waiver. Tell me something. While everything is shut down, a lot of fights are shut down and such. You were supposed to have a fight this past January 25th. You were supposed to go against Valerie Letourneau, who I love how you see how she's already laughing.
She's giggling.
She's already giggling.
I hear it.
Valerie, if anybody doesn't know, Valerie Letourneau actually was I guess you could say a headline because she was looking to have a debut against a amateur fighter from New York who was going to make her debut, and unfortunately the amateur fighter, it was such a mismatch that I believe the record was 1-15 or 16 of the girl that she was supposed to be going against, to the point where the Connecticut Athletic Commission, or Tribal, I should say, Mike Mazzulli came right in and said, hell no, this is not happening. So all of a sudden, now they gave her a couple of other little, pushes like they do in professional wrestling and kind of like, dolled her up and such. And if nobody knows who I'm talking about with Valerie Letourneau, you probably saw a lot more on TikTok and Instagram
This
than you do
poor
in the cage.
girl.
Listen, I just call it like I see it. And then what happens is she finds out she has to go against Tara. And surprisingly, I don't know if she stubs her toe or what happened, broke a nail, and the fight's canceled. And then automatically, she's laughing. She knows what I'm talking about. But she's not saying it. That's the main thing. So plain and once again, this coming out of my mouth, not Tara's. Injured on the 25th of January. February 5th, she's running around doing jiu-jitsu and such, and miraculously, she's healed. Amen, hallelujah. So, is there a rescheduling, Tara?
It can come out of my mouth, too. It's okay. I don't mind. It's very frustrating. The chick just came off of some type of stupid ass reality TV show, and if you look at her from the time it started to the time it ended, she got a little sick. Let's just say she already had signed our contract. She was already supposed to fight. She knew months in advance we were supposed to fight well before it was released. Then all of a sudden, she gets back to ATT, and I'm sure they're probably like, "Oh, hell no!" She was a little chunky, and then some type of mysterious injury happened in a matter of a few days, and then she was mysteriously better. So she had a real speedy recovery, and I'm thankful for that. So I was ready to go back at it. Long ways down the road, finally got another call, so we were good to go.
There you go.
So it was actually scheduled for June 6th. Now it's canceled. So it sucks, because of the coronavirus, but it's going to happen. And I can't wait for it to happen because, it fuels my fire. She's all about that image. Like, if you want to go be an ass model, go be an ass model. Like, don't try to get followers, and that's the wrong way to do it. Show up by your fighting. Let me see it,
We are talking to Bellator fighter Tara Graff.
So, Tara, as you said, in regards to some people seeming a little chunky. I'm just saying when it comes to,
we're both a little chunky,
No, well, first off, I'm not talking about myself, and I'm not chunky. I'm fat. I admit it. Okay. I've even said, and I've complimented him many times about the capacity of these chairs.
You got to cut that weight.
But here's the thing. Would you believe this? Back when I actually competed, I was actually 200 pounds even. It was scary. Now I'm actually carrying a middleweight on my back. It's the corona. It's the corona. It's got me so depressed. I went into depression eating. It happens.
Is that what it was?
It's not the Corona 15 in my case. You could times that by 10. No, but in all seriousness, when it comes to the uncertainty of when these fights are going to pop up and all that, while you're training and everything, have you ever had an issue with the long layoffs with the weight cutting and like holding off on things like this?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I have taken numerous of fights very quickly, and true weight class that especially that I started with, in my amateur career, I started at 115. I'm a big 115er. I cut a lot of weight. I do. So I understand how it feels. But if you sign your name on that dotted line, damn it, make it work. Like, cut the weight. No, I understand, weight cuts suck. Nobody wants to do it. That's the worst part of it. But do it. You're fighting, do it,
And I've said this in the past. I always appreciate the old school mentality of training, the old school mentality of fighters back in the day and such. And one thing and I've even said this to Tara, I've said this to other people, Tara always holds that old school mentality. You don't really see that much anymore where it's, I don't want to hear about your excuses. If you signed, you should have no excuses.
So she's the man of the relationship. Is that what you're saying?
Not my relationship, but I'm just simply saying.
She's the man of her relationship.
Just like she said, if you signed that bout agreement for that weight, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. If there was any question, you shouldn't have just stepped up. That's not the case. Don't waste my time. Don't waste my time. That's why I can appreciate this. I can't appreciate the whole BS when it comes to
Hold on 1 second. Hold on, Tara. I'm sorry. So we were just talking about Tony Ferguson getting in.
Tara, please help me out with this, please.
Listen. We were just talking about Tony Ferguson getting into the octagon against Justin Gaethje, okay? And I am sticking up for Tony Ferguson because I believe Tony Ferguson got screwed because Khabib decided to jump on a plane going back to his family in Russia, while Tony Ferguson, who didn't train for Gaethje, decided to get in the ring like a man and get his butt whipped because he wasn't ready for the fight. But he's giving you compliments, the same particular thing. I don't understand you.
Because Anthony. She's not going to turn around and say...
I don't understand you.
I'm telling you right. What is there that you don't understand?
I just don't. I'm lost.
You're telling me she's going to turn around and say that if it's not...
Maybe my head's up your ass.
Wait, she's talking. Wait. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Tara.
The same side of that, okay, I had quite a few people, drop out and replacement. It does suck. But that's one thing that I've always told myself, and one of the main reasons that I don't like to watch film on my opponent, fighting film. I don't want to gauge my fight to their fight because I know firsthand I've changed so much the last couple years. The last fight. Anybody can change, and anybody can change their game plan. You know what I'm saying? So if I go in there expecting this guy's going to take me down, I'm going to be ready, I'm going to sprawl, and then we're standing the whole time, my game plan is shot. So I go in there with free mind, anything goes. You're in that cage, you're stuck in that cage, anything goes.
So basically what you're saying is the ability to adapt to the unknown is something that a professional at that level of poor little Mr. Ferguson, you know what I mean? So what you're basically
He's just angry because he lost his parlay.
I just basically am looking for a nice way of saying, I know I'm right.
He's like a washwoman. He's like a washwoman.
Over here, homeboy is getting real upset because Ferguson is on Area 51.
Am I from the Bronx or something?
I don't know, man. It's listen, there's only one of us wearing that freaking, Spike Lee hat, so I didn't even get me started.
Spike Lee? I'm wearing a Nike Air hat. Spike Lee.
Like I said.
What's wrong with Nike?
Oh, for what?
No, what are you take a shot at my hat now?
What Nike? Now he's going after Nike because UFC's got Reebok, so he had to go somewhere. He's an opportunist. He's an opportunist.
Well,
it's accidental product placement.
As you guys know, I don't like Dana White, so probably yes.
There you go. If he had Coke, he's got a Pepsi can over here, like by his,
I like Pepsi more than Coke. You're
what
right.
I just tell you, see?
As you guys know, we are talking to Bellator, I believe it or not, eventually Bellator champion Tara Graff.
So basically, now if it's not June, from what you said, it was supposed to be June. Now they just called it off. Did they give another tentative date, like July or August or anything?
They haven't because the corona, they're not sure. Venues. They have no clue. Maybe they'll take a little play at it. Dana's book and head to Florida. I don't know. I haven't heard anything. I'm not sure. Hopefully, I'll hear something soon because I'm ready. I'm so ready.
And you're down in Virginia with Royal, correct?
Maryland, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, Maryland.
I did all my amateur fighting in Virginia in the Wild Wild West, where we had pro rules.
Well, over in Indiana, I actually just found out yesterday from Chris Papandrea over there at Dynamic Jiu-Jitsu. His gym is actually opening up, I believe, on the 26th of May. Is there any tentative? Is there any tentative dates or anything coming up in regards to? Do
you want me to
possibly something opening up
before she answers that? Do you want me to read what Mike Pagano said?
Actually, go right ahead because if she
read that.
She's beside him right now, so if I read it and she doesn't like it, she could probably beat the hell out of
Go
him.
ahead, right there. I'll
getting into the whole Gaethje versus Ferguson thing. Yes, Tony was preparing for Khabib, which fell through for the 5th time. But Tony was the interim champ. He's a champ. Scroll up a little bit. There we go. He's a champ. So as a champ, to step up. What the hell?
It moves.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
It's got to go up a little bit more.
Why are you writing so long? Seriously.
Listen, he could do whatever the hell he wants right now. Unfortunately, because we're reading it. So what the hell? Anyway.
Read whatever you want.
Basically, in a nice way, he's saying Anthony's right. That's what he's getting ready to say.
And you want to know something? That's because he loves you, Anthony. Because
I don't even know the guy.
Maybe you need to hug him or kiss him or give him your nice bear
I'm
hug.
a fun guy. People love me.
Yeah, they love you,
Jeff
all right.
used to love me before he went
Now he loves me, so that's a good thing.
Because you didn't give him shitty betting advice.
Tara, when you jump on this show, you're going to have a little bit of fun. That's for sure.
Thanks. That's what I'm here for.
So, in a nice way, tell Mike thank you for saying that Anthony is right. Thank you.
No.
We didn't get to read the whole thing, but that's where we were going.
Leave it up to Anthony. Leave it up to Anthony to give himself his own credit.
I'm not giving myself credit. It's right there in black and white. We can't read it all, but it's right there.
I'll read off what he said.
No, don't do
Valerie
that.
is
Don't
supposed
do that. We
to
don't have
be
enough
a
time.
professional
We don't have enough
athlete.
time.
What?
We don't have enough time. We don't have enough time.
Do you want me to read it or not?
Yeah, just get to Anthony's right.
All right, I'm reading.
Okay.
Anthony's right. I don't know what dream world you're in. Okay. Valerie is supposed to be a professional athlete. If you're a pro athlete, you fulfill your contract with the understanding of that. And I know somebody keeps on calling. We will answer the call right after our interview. I promise you guys.
After we find out how many people know that I'm right and Errol's wrong, we'll get to your phone call. We promise.
No.
Which they're
understanding
probably calling to say that I'm
of
right.
that you're getting into. But she wants followers online. That's what she cares about.
Why did you go to the princess? He was talking about me being right with Tony Ferguson.
Right.
It was up further.
You're annoying. You know that?
But I'm correct. It's up further.
No, it's right here. It's right here. Can I just do my job here? Jesus. Getting into the whole Gaethje versus Ferguson thing. Yes, Tony was preparing for Khabib, which, yes, fell through for the 5th time. But Tony was the interim champ. He's a champ. So the champ, you step up and defend your step against anyone they put in front of you. And he did that. Unfortunately, he got beat. Also, Gaethje has been wrestling since he was 4 years old, born in Safford. Arizona. Gagey began wrestling when he was 4 years old. I know you said that already. He was a 2-time Arizona state champion as a wrestler of Stanford High School and an NCAA Division I All-American during his time at the University of Northern Colorado. So I was right, too. Thank you.
What were you right
Thank
about?
you, Mike.
Because the guy
Thank
went to
you.
school?
No, because he was a wrestler, too. So if he took him down, it still would have given him problems.
He didn't try.
You know what? You know what, Anthony?
I know what. I'm right.
No matter,
I'm right. That's
no matter what I say, you're going to say you're right. So
you're right about that, too?
Oh, my God.
I'll give you that one.
Oh. You are a pain in my rear end. You know that? I don't know about good taste.
You got good taste.
Yeah, well, I like a panda bear, and I'm sitting right next to one.
Hey, listen. It's just another lovable thing. It's just another reason. Listen, that's my power animal. Don't get me going.
Power
it's true.
Your power animal?
Find another cuter animal than me. It's amazing.
You know what? That's your nickname, Power Animal.
Listen, my daughters have
Anthony
called me
Power
pandas
Animal
a
Androsi.
long ass time. Okay, and I'll tell you right now, if my girls say panda, that's it. It's panda.
I'm calling you the Power Animal. I'm putting you on there, a.k.a. the Power Animal. That's your new nickname.
I'll take it.
The Power Animal.
I'll take it. It's still positive. I don't care.
It's positive, all right.
It's positive.
You are a pain in my rear end. You know that? Tara, I don't know how you're friends with this guy. I'm just kidding. I love this guy. He really is. He's been a good co-host since we started together, and he really gives good insight. But he's wrong about this. He is absolutely wrong.
So
about this.
basically, by him saying I'm wrong, he's saying you're wrong. He's saying Mike's wrong. He's saying everybody's wrong except Errol. You realize this? If you're doing the math, that's it. You know what? Next time we're on, we're getting Mike on the show.
Mike
the hell
who?
with this?
Mike Washington?
No, Mike Pagano, who just wrote all this stuff saying Anthony was right. So that's it. That's it. We're going Team Anthony on this. I don't want to hear it.
Team
We're making
Errol.
shirts. We're making shirts.
Is that what we're going to do?
Like,
is that what we're going to do?
I'm really going to date ourselves. It's like Dan versus Dave back in the 80s. With
Really?
the Olympics.
Really? So
we
it's
should
gonna
get a poll.
So David versus
Whoever-
Goliath?
We should have a bet.
David versus Goliath. But you know
We should
David
have a
wins.
bet.
You know David wins that fight. You know that, right?
David who?
David versus Goliath.
Goliath who?
Oh my
You're going
God!
biblical?
Oh my God!
Listen, I treat
hear
my
what
life.
You hear what I deal with,
I treat my public.
Aren't we
listen,
dealing with an interview right now? We're going back and forth.
You started it.
And I'm ending it.
Okay. Anyway, so
as you guys know, we are talking to Bellator fighter Tara Graff.
you wouldn't know that because Errol's over here doing his thing.
I'm doing what?
Right there.
What's that
Right
shaking?
there. Look,
I'm not no bobblehead.
You're taking time away from our
I
guest.
am not
You're
a
taking time away from our
bobblehead.
guest. You know, she's got a busy life. She's got a.
Man, like I'm breaking up my kids' fight.
It's probably worse than that, actually, to tell you the truth. It's probably worse, unfortunately.
They fight pretty bad.
So let me ask you, in all seriousness, I love how I have to say in all seriousness to kind of like give the disclaimer to validate what I'm about to say next.
Power animal.
But I'll take it. Anyway, now that you're waiting for Bellator, is there anything preventing you if Bellator doesn't come around, with anything upcoming? If somebody else jumps in, are you available to take another fight in another organization, or are you bound to that contract right now?
Yes, I can. Because I'm only contracted to that fight. So technically, yes, I can. I haven't signed for the new date. But the thing is would I? Would I want to? If something happened, ruin my chances, with the big stage. That's the question I would have to play. Who the opponent is, what the event is. So
there you go, Dana White, Fight Island. There we go. Get her on the island.
Hey, I'm down. I'm so down.
Get her on the island. Seems like she's the only damn fighter that wants to fight on the damn thing right now. But go ahead, get her on the
Corona
fight.
with lemon.
That's it.
Corona with lime.
Just out of curiosity, because even though you are a Bellator fighter, just out of curiosity, what did you think of the fights this past week so far? I know we got another one coming up tomorrow, but what did you think so far? In all honesty,
this past Wednesday one, I don't know. Did you guys talk about that at all with Anthony Smith and that drunk.
Not yet. He was on his Ferguson thing, so I couldn't, unfortunately.
You see what I mean? I was quiet. I'm calm.
I was
I'm
answering her
collective,
question. I was just answering
and
her
now
question.
he's taking a shot at me.
I was
again.
just
You
answering
see
her
this?
question. I was just answering her
Mr.
question.
Power Animal.
Just answering her question.
Yeah, no, so it's kind of funny. Mike and I were actually talking about that earlier. You know, the whole stopping, the corner should have stopped it, blah blah blah. You know, like I said earlier, you know, he knows what he's doing, and he even said, like, I was doing enough to prevent them from stopping it. So no, it should not have been stopped. I agree with him. You know, I go in there, I know what I'm getting into. I know the possibilities of, you know, the teeth falling out, you know, getting bashed open. If I'm done, I'm going to tell you I'm done, not anybody else, you know. I don't like the early stoppages, and I want when I'm ready to quit, that's when I'll quit, you know.
But, I mean, you do – but there is, in a way, when it comes from – there's two different minds of, you know, kind of like thought there. One is the fighter saying, I'm doing enough and I could justify why you wouldn't stop this fight and such. Meanwhile, on the outside, you have the coach whose responsibility, number one, is your safety or the fighter's safety. Let's just generalize as the fighter's safety. I don't want to start a fight over there. But so when it all comes down to it, you know, if that was to ever happen, I mean, could you understand where, you know, he would be coming from? I mean, nobody wants the towel thrown in because it doesn't happen often. So nobody ever really wants that to happen. But you understand it's for you to ultimately, you know, fight another day. Because let's be real, there's no way in hell.
He has my best interest. He you know, he will always look out for me. Would I be pissed? Probably in the heat of the moment, absolutely. But, you know, when I step back, I do know at the end of the day that he's got my best interest. And, you know, is that something that I would be pissed forever about? No, I'd get over. But, you know, that's why we had this conversation. You know, I like, look, don't. If my teeth are falling out, I'll quit when I'm ready to quit, you know. But, no, yeah. And he has a mindset where I don't care. If I don't like it, I'm stopping it. But I don't like it. I don't want it. No, I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm signing up for.
Right. All right. Tara, is that the phone?
I'll fix it, man. Just relax.
Tara, can you hear us?
We're losing her.
Yep, gotcha.
We're losing her. I'll fix it. We might have to.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I could hear you. Unfortunately, that's my phone. I'm sorry.
I'll fix it. Don't worry, Tara. Hold on. It's Anthony's garbage phone.
Hey, I'm a poor boy. I can only afford certain things. Anyway.
Go ahead.
Thank you.
Finish up with it.
So, going into the next couple of months and such, I mean, are you looking to change anything with your training now that you've already seen what this corona thing is basically made the living situation and the training situation? Is there anything that you're looking to kind of change or update or reboot going into the next couple of months? That's my phone, right?
It might be. I don't know how your phone works, but hold on. I'm trying to get her working here, but here we are.
Hello?
There we are.
Yeah, there you are. Sorry, now we can hear you.
Nah, we got you. It's Anthony's phone. Just bear with us. It is the Power Animals. The Power Animals phone. That is an awesome name. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anyway, I'm sorry, Tara. You were saying?
No, I was just saying that, you know, I'm glad that Mike and I had the conversation. You know, I know where he stands. He knows where I stand, but I just don't, I wouldn't want him to stop anything. I know what I'm signing up for. You know, I know what I'm getting into. When I'm ready to quit, I'll quit, you know?
Mm-hmm. All right. Well,
Tara, I wish you all the luck in the world. I really do, and I can't wait until you fight because I will definitely be rooting for you. Unfortunately, because you're friends with this guy right next to me, I am starting to really believe that you're moving towards the panda side. So, unfortunately.
Wait until we could actually get her on the show, and she's wearing the panda shirts.
Oh,
it will
God.
happen.
The Power Animal shirt? It's
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh, man. Well, if she was smart, she'd be wearing the Gratitude shirt, which is me, Errol the Gratitude Marks, right?
For the love of Jesus, you gave yourself that nickname?
Yeah, I give that. It's a nice name. You Power Animal and Mr. Gratitude.
How long did it take you to think of that?
Well, 5 seconds.
And it seems like it. I'm actually looking around the room right now to see the word gratitude, to see where the hell you pulled that up out of.
Well, Tara, it's been swell. Thank you for joining us. We definitely want to get you on when it's closer to your fight, and then after your fight. We would love to talk to you about your fight.
Yeah, man, absolutely. That'd be great. I really appreciate you guys for having me on. It's been fun.
Oh, it always is. It always is. And every single show that you go on now, you'll remember our show because you got Mr. Panda Bear, a.k.a. Power Animal, and Mr. Gratitude.
We could definitely say we didn't have any cookie cutter questions or moments on this puppy. You don't have any Ariel Hawani stuff on here.
Oh, there's no puppies, that's for
no.
sure.
I hate to break it.
No kittens, no caboodles.
I stay away from
puppies.
cats. They're evil animals. I'm sorry. They steal the breath out of babies. It's disgusting.
I agree. I agree with you there.
I don't like cats either, but
They steal the breath out of babies. It's true.
What do you mean? They stick their heads down a baby's breath?
No,
I don't know.
They creep up on their chest and they just suck the life out of them. It's true.
What do you watch Bewitched or something?
No, everybody knows this.
Oh my!
Why do you think in Italy the cats are outside?
Right now, there's a lot of stuff going.
I
don't think they care about the damn cats in Italy right now. They care about COVID-19.
Where do you think it probably came from? It's the damn cats.
Well, Tara, thank you for joining us.
Thank you guys so much.
Thanks, Tara.
Thanks, Tara.
You guys have a good one.
That was Tara Graff.
She's never coming back on.
Oh, she absolutely is. She had a lot of fun.
I don't know.
I guarantee you she had a lot of fun.
What, Team Gratitude? Where did I almost curse? Where did you get that from?
That's me, Gratitude,
Yeah,
Mr. Gratitude.
Okay. Wow.
Now, guys, you can call the show. I see somebody's trying to call the show. We'll get them on when we come back from break. As you guys know, you can reach us by going to www.worldwidesportsradio.com. And remember, guys, this is Cajun MMA, and we'll be back after this.
You're listening to the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening. It's time! Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner.
Right there, hold on, right there. Boom, I faked him. Whoa, whoa, I'm back. But Mama Babo, how you say his name?
I'm gonna go home tonight. I'm gonna drink a Coors Light. Fighting out of the red corner.
I completely dominated that fifth round. That fifth round want me to fight.
From the bottom of my heart, I'd like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody.
It's time!
The #1 MMA show in America. Caged in MMA.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the show that everybody likes to fight about. Yes! This is Caged in MMA, and I'm your host, Errol Marks, and my co-host, Anthony Andorosi. Remember, you can follow us by going to our website at www.worldwidesportsradio.com. I guess we have a new guest. If you guys don't know him, he is known as the Mechanic, Mr. Jerome Mickles. What's going on, Jerome?
What's up, motherfuckers? You know I'm not FCC approved. I don't know why y'all thought it was about to be some censorship going on in this bitch.
What's that music in the background over there? What are you listening to? Nas or something?
Nah. Let me turn you guys off in the background. You're all in like a tablet, and I'm cleaning the house and disinfecting because of COVID. Shit is annoying, bro. I've turned into a full-time fucking janitor. I can get more cleaning gigs than fights. The fuck is going on in here?
So what would you like to talk about, my friends?
Just so you know, you're in trouble because he's another one of my favorites.
Oh,
another one.
Oh, God.
Another one.
Listen, Errol, I ain't gonna lie. Anthony knows me personally. Like, he tells me before every amateur fight, he's refereed for about 3 out of
one of his fights. One of his last.
So hold
fights,
on one second.
One of his last fights, he almost had to hold me back because almost killed his opponent.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's
Were
true.
you reffing that fight?
I was reffing that fight, and the damn fighter kept running away from him. Okay, and it got to the point where I got so damn pissed off after taking a point. This guy was doing yoga and stuff in the corner, and it got to the point where I just said, "The hell with it, you're done." And I mean, it got to the point where Jerome actually was waiting for me. I know he was waiting for me to shoot in on this kid. I know it was going to happen.
So let me get this straight, Jerome. Because he's one of your favorites and you're one of his favorites, you're going to tag team against me. You and the power animal.
No.
I didn't say that.
I'm not the you can't beat him, join him, jump him guy. I'm the I'll whoop your ass myself. But Anthony is one of my favorite. I have like 3 WKA refs that I fuck with heavy, and then I got some that I don't even like. Like, they know I don't want them around me. Like, you know what's crazy? A lot of people like Big Dan. I don't like Big Dan. He makes me nervous. I took a last-minute fight for Maverick, and I hear about the weight cut conversation you guys are having. Yes, as an athlete, you're contracted, but physically, when you put yourself mentally and try to go through hell and back, nobody can really tell you how easy it is to make the weight.
So let me ask. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Well, you contracted to make it. That shit sounds good. But a lot of us are not getting $1 million to make boxing money. So maybe you got work, maybe you have kids. It's not easy to make a weight cut in a full life. It's not. When you like these younger guys I get to fight, because I'm 32 now, I made 32 in April. When you get these guys that are 21 that are eligible to fight everybody else, a lot of these motherfuckers got mommy money. So they're home all day. Especially a lot of guys I get paired up with are Long Island kids who are, no, it's going to sound racial, but this is the reality. You're allowed to stay home till you're like 40 when you're a certain race and your parents were well off. In my generation, my bracket, you got to go get it from the age of 12 and up, where we're at. So I'm not at home all day. I don't have the luxury of being in the gym all day. I'm usually working. Like, I come from 12-hour bartending shifts, and because I have the key to my former gym, I was able to train at 4 in the morning. That's why I may wait a lot of times. I just left Queens as Striking 101 as my gym maybe about a year now. I've been away from them for a year, and I'm now training out of BK MMA over there with Terry Gold and them, and I feel better. I feel phenomenal. I feel more powerhousing. Like, I'm wrestling more. My striking has always been there, but I'm like, I need the ground game, and the weight cut thing is not easy. Like, no matter where you go, you know, like, a lot of people don't understand that. Like, the fans, especially the casual fans, RCB, just make it happen. I'm like, yeah, well, your ass eats carrots for 2 weeks and be vegan only just to make weight, because that's what I have to do. My body type doesn't allow me to gain a lot of fat. So I maybe burn 6 pounds of fat, and then the rest is all damn muscle.
So you said that you switched gyms and everything. Do you have something lined up, or is there something tentatively coming up?
I was lined up 12 times. No, like, that's exaggerated, but like, fucking Maverick had me booked for 3 different months. And since this COVID shit has taken place, the first one my opponent pulled out.
That was in PA, right? That was in Pennsylvania?
Was interested. It was scheduled originally in November.
But it's in Pennsylvania.
This is when the first scares came out. So then after November, we got pushed to late March 28th. And then it got canceled again. So I hear Shorty right before me. I heard her situation. I was like, that's how we all feel. We all waiting around for work. And a lot of us are trying to keep in shape and stay ready when you get ready. But life also hits you. Like, I got my weight down to 170. That way I can be 10 pounds away from this catch weight fight for Maverick. I put on another 15 pounds being home and less being in the gym, you know? I just ordered at least 1,000 hours of equipment from Blaze Pods, et cetera, to keep me active. This shit is not easy to do at home, especially if you don't have the luxury of the garage gyms and everything else. So the hearsay fans, you know how I feel about them. The casual fans and the guys you got to cut the way, they can fuck off. Like, I'm serious. Like, I'm not here for the fans. I'm here to make a future for my kids. If I have genuine followers that fuck with me, and there's quite a few. I have people that are in different states that will come out to my fight. I have people that live in this state and will go any state I fight. So I'm not here to make casual fans. I'm here to leave a mark, make some money, make some legacy, and then get the hell out while I can. This whole year off sucks. I'm not going to lie. I can only imagine what every other fighter is dealing with because I've been waiting to put my hands on somebody.
We are talking to professional fighter Jerome Mickles. They call him the Mechanic. So Jerome, my question here for you is, growing as a fighter, and I've watched a couple of your fights, and I know a little bit about you. You've come to the studio. We've argued about MMA. We've argued about other things. What is it like being a father? And a lot of people. I've talked to Frankie Edgar off air, and he's a father of 3 kids. What is it like being a father and mixing it up with really being a professional fighter?
It's a gift and a curse. And I don't mean my kids at first. I'm saying this because people are here to take it wrong. So, as you guys know, I'm like on my 26th fight of my career. I fought like 14 times in the amateurs. First underground with Peter Storm, then Knife, where I met Anthony, New York, which is New York Fight Exchange. Then I went up to, I was blackballed so long by Jersey, I had to go to Premier FC in Boston or Massachusetts, wherever the hell it is, just to get approved as a pro so nobody else can tell me no. Because once you get your license, it's like there's no legality issues. I only had one issue, and I heard you say about the commission in Connecticut recently since the pros. That guy's an asshole.
Oh, you're talking about Mike Mazzulli over in Tribal.
I can't stand him. I can't. They can see whenever Bellator calls, if it's not New York, Long Island, or anywhere else, don't call me for Connecticut. Because I want to go out there, and it was a whole scandal I was tied up in for nothing because of that asshole. I'm not even going to lie. Like, we'll get into that in a minute, but being a parent, it is a beautiful thing and a gift and a curse at the same time, because there's days where I really have to balance out what gets sacrificed. There's training gets sacrificed, and there's parenting gets sacrificed. And that's a real live decision I have to make a lot of times, where it will leave a bad taste in my kid's mother's mouth, where it's like, damn, we were on good terms, but you don't understand I'm trying to get something bigger done. And then it's become where now it's an understanding that this is about them, because every death waiver, every insurance policy, for every fight contract, the boys' names is on there. Not their mothers, not their grandparents, the boys' names, with one appointed attorney for the parties so they can get anything soon if they need it. Like, this is not for hobby. So when you got kids, there's a lot of different things factoring. Some people think they're distractions. My kids happen to be my motivators. By my, fourth pro fight, my third pro fight, I fought Gambit Namavea, if I'm pronouncing that right. Sambit or Gambit Namavea.
Don't worry, I pronounce names just as bad as you do.
Yeah, ask Errol how to pronounce it.
I'm from New York. We only speak 2 Englishes, Errol. Good English and bad English. And this is coming from a half-bred Puerto Rican. Like, you understand? Like, we don't speak well English, okay? We speak good and bad. So I fought him, and then by the second round, the weight cut killed me so much because, as you guys know, I debuted pro 170, and I realized a lot of sandbagging goes on in this sport. A lot of weight class jumping that shouldn't be allowed. Like, you know, at 170, I'm really getting the natural 190s and the 205s. The guys that don't want to bang with their own bracket. And it's a disgusting thing because at 170, you can tell when they rehydrate. You look at their legs, you're like, damn, that's not genetics. That's at least another 10 pounds that he dehydrated. You know, you look at different things. So I had to go down to 155 where it's at least even for me because the guys are short and powerful and fast. And I'm tall, long, and I hit hard. So it's like, it's a little bit of a matchup for me. It's fair enough. The only thing I have to keep working on is wrestling because a lot of guys I fight are like 5'7" and under. They don't got to slip a jab. They stand right under it. And I'm 5'11" in 155. So until they officiate a 165 bracket, this is where I'm going to be at. And the weight cut was so bad for me that my kid's mother at the time, Kamar's mother, the baby that I brought to the studio, his mother had to get me out the bathtub almost because I had to do the bathtub cut in Atlantic City. And there's just so much politics with that. You know I'm always going to speak my mind. I'm a filter. Some people are like, oh, don't hire him because his mouth. I'm going to say what the fuck I feel. I got to sign my life over and almost die. I should be able to say how I feel. You know, fighting in Atlantic City is not always lucrative. Sometimes it's just for your resume. Sometimes it's to push you in the direction of Bellator. Because fighting in Atlantic City is how I got the Bellator fights. It just wasn't making me any money either. Like them, oh, you could sell tickets. No, my job is to put hands on people. A promoter should promote and sell tickets.
That was a Ring of Combat fight,
true.
right?
It's so fucking true. Yeah, you got to sell yourself, but I shouldn't be focused on salesmanship when I have a hard job at hand. And people say, oh, it's not that hard. Yeah, well, you've ever been in the cage 15 minutes and your heart feel like it's jumping out your chest and you fighting constantly no matter how tired you are? But this goes back to the point of kids. Second round with Gambit, I was really winded, like so badly from the weight cut, dehydrated. I felt like my heart was going to give out. And the doctor comes in and checks on me because that's how tired I am. And I'm like, I'm good, bro. I'm just tired. I'm still going to go another round. We didn't sacrifice 90 days. I didn't have arguments with my kids' mother about being in the gym 6 days a week and parenting through those 6 days as best I can. You know, you understand? Like, there's a lot of sacrifices and balancing you have to try to learn when you're a parent. And yes, nobody made me be a parent. I chose to be one. I made my own bed. I choose to lay in a bed I make. That's fine. But I don't have the same luxuries as other guys that get to stay in the gym all day. So the weight cuts are very difficult. And when you have your kids, they can either motivate you or break you. And when I look at them, I always find extra energy because I'm not okay with mediocrity. I just paid $1,600 for a fucking fur in the middle of COVID. You know why? Because I work my ass off all year round, whether it be fighting or working. So with my kids, I look at them and I get an extra energy. I get extra boost. I get extra aggressive. I'm like, motherfucker, only one of us is walking out this cage. Even if I lose, everybody can always say, I've always walked out. I ain't been stretched out yet. And that's got to be something. Somebody loves me. At 26 fights, I ain't never been walked out. I never had to get the smelling salt cue. So, you know, the kids can be a gift. They can be a curse. Depends how you learn how to balance it. I look to my kids for inspiration. Second round, my coach, John at the time, is John Ruiz, and he's cursing me the fuck out in the middle of the corner. He's like, what are you doing? Do you want to win? Remember, Hunter was just born. He's talking about my youngest son. My son was born the week before the fight. And when he's like, do it for Hunter. Do it for Roman. Like, you better do it for your kids because if you don't win this, that extra fight bonus money you think you about to get is gone, and you need it. Kids is the motivation, for me at least. And I got a fire up under my ass, and I scored enough in the second round for me to get the unanimous. So, I mean, for the people with kids, look to your kids like they're the sun. You can get energy from the sun if you're in it. If not, I don't know what else to help you because when I put hands on you, you're going to need God.
We are talking to MMA fighter Jerome Mickles. Before we let you go, we've been arguing about the Justin Gaethje, Tony Ferguson fight. And I just want to know your take before we let you go because we have to, go through Anthony's parlay of the fights tomorrow. So I can't wait to hear his parlay. But
it's not wrong for people to win money.
Well, you screwed Jeff for $5,000.
Listen, Ferguson screwed us all. Ferguson screwed us all. Ferguson screwed us all. You can't tell me that I'm the only one who got that pick wrong.
Here's my thing with the Tony Ferguson and the Gaethje situation. There's truth and there's an unspoken truth about fighting. Yes, it's true. You're contracted, you're a professional, you're supposed to be prepared. But let's be real. If Jordan did tape on the Jazz and he faces the Lakers because they swapped out the Jazz the week of or maybe a few weeks out, that's not the same game plan. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, with some camps, unfortunately, you got to be real. Like, some camps are more pinpoint focused. Like, for me, there's camps where we only work on defense, on jiu-jitsu, and takedown and scrolling because everybody knows I love to stand and bang. I can finish with a submission, believe it or not. I get to grapple with guys like McCruz from Brooklyn MMA, Anthony Snipe George. I get to work with Whitney the Bully. So I get a lot of guys that throw me around, and I work against it. Like, even with sacrificial judo throws, most people don't know I have a judo background. I can grapple. I don't like to grapple, bro. We suffered and starved 90 days. You didn't eat for 90 days. You didn't fuck for 90 days. No drinking, no marijuana, and you want to hump and score points like it's the NWCA wrestling tournament. Mm-hmm. That shit is corny to me. And unfortunately, that's what happened to Tony. He signed up, you sign up. You can't complain. If they swap out, you're still getting paid, so you got to show up. And the reality is, he was not ready for Gaethje because I've never seen Ferguson get turned around by certain hits. I've never seen that. I've seen him train his back and go for a crazy elbow or something like he turned away from a lot of big hits like, oh, shit, this is a different power. And people are saying, well, Khabib would have did the same. No, Khabib would have humped and scored. We all know this. Khabib doesn't throw bombs. And when he punches, it's barely enough punching power to put anybody out. Because think about it. Michael Johnson, he didn't really put out. He abused with the wrestling and the ground and pound. Conor, he abused with the ground and pound. And it's never really the matter of, oh, the wrestling is so good. It's an equilibrium that a lot of people are not paying attention to. Like, if there's a great wrestler and you're winded from keeping him off your ass for the first 2 rounds, good luck surviving 3 more rounds at 5 minutes a pop with no real rest. 1 minute rest of 5 minutes. So, like, we have to open our eyes to both aspects. I don't think it was an unjust matchup, but I just don't think he was prepared for that fight.
Team
really knew.
Gratitude. No, right there.
It's
team
not
gratitude.
It's
I've
not
got
team gratitude.
one on Team
You
Gratitude.
said he got
Mr.
He's
Power
a
Animal.
pro fighter. Like, I think he prepared, but he just was not ready.
I said the same thing.
Okay, but
Khabib fighting is not the same.
No, Jerome, I understand what you're saying. I agree with what you're saying. But here's the thing. With
That's
this
what
one
I
over here.
said.
No, it's not what you said.
That's what I
you
said.
said unfairly, he got
Tommy,
screwed.
you stop fighting.
He got screwed. That's what you said. Unfairly,
He did get
got
screwed. He did. He didn't have to go in that fight, but he did.
Because unfortunately, he did in a sense a contract clause. You know the rules. You sign, you sign. And what happened is if he'd have said no, let's be real. Even if they said, well, now you have to sign a new contract because the first contract has Khabib's name on it. Second contract has Gaethje's name on it. If he would have said no, when do you think his next title shot would have been? They would have fucked him over.
Yep.
Sometimes you got to play bitch to the devil. Sometimes you got to know you're shaking it if you're doing a deal with the devil and smile.
Team
about it. You know how
gratitude.
many times I've taken fights
It's not
for
team
promoters
gratitude.
last minute because I'm like, if I say no and I want some work in the middle of the summer and I want a paycheck, they're going to be like, nah. Or they're going to give me a filthy matchup on purpose.
Jerome.
Plain
Plain and simple. Flat out, plain and simple, because you're a guy who doesn't mix words, and you know how much I love you. Tell me I'm wrong. Go ahead. Tell me I'm wrong, and he's right.
I think you're both wrong to a degree.
There.
You are.
I'll deal with that.
I'll
deal with that.
Okay, you got to take one side. Come on, Jerome. Take one side.
Look at a few things. There's a few things that people say, well, he signed up for it. Do you have his house note, his car note? Like, you can't afford to turn away a job, especially with COVID. Ain't nobody else getting paid. Who got paid besides them the last week? They don't make enough. We don't make enough. We don't make enough as boxing. So when there's one fight, if that's Tony's only fight this year, that's his only income other than his endorsement.
And my thing is his ability to adapt to a situation. Because let's be real.
It should be there, but it's
It
not
should be
always
there.
because
And-
you got guys. That's why you get a coach. You understand? Sometimes you learn certain things that you naturally have about you. Like, I can adapt to most situations. I get hit hard, I come forward, and I figure it out. You got some guys that are great rappers, but once they get hit, their game goes out the window. So everybody's not built to adapt. Everybody won't be able to adapt, unfortunately, because that's just not their mindset. He wasn't able to do so. I think he really had so much game plans, but based off of Khabib coming in off of his shot and him catching him with a knee or some nasty elbows. He didn't expect them big-ass bombs and then wrestling behind it because Khabib doesn't do that. Khabib just smothers you. Like, even if he's eating shots, he'll press forward. Gaethje's throwing haymakers and kicks, head kicks. I was like, when do you ever see Gaethje throw head kicks? He knew he had a ragdoll that fight. The only time you see a guy experiment with new techniques is when he knows he has the upper hand.
Well, the truth is, and you can say it, it's okay. You could step back here, Jerome, and just say, team.
Anthony, you're wrong, brother. Errol, you said that Mercedes is going to be in the parking lot for me with the keys in it?
That's right.
You know I love corruption.
Don't worry.
Sorry, yeah, he promised me the new Mercedes.
Power Animal. The Power Animal team is down to the ground.
Okay. I stand by what I said. That's all I can say.
Jerome, thank you for joining us, my friend.
Nah, it's always a pleasure, guys. Hopefully, be on the lookout for new.
We are.
Apparel coming.
We are.
Some fights. Hopefully, we get booked soon. I feel the rest of the MMA world's hurt. We want to get back to action, man. You got people doing the Don't Rush Challenge and shit. I'm ready to just beat some people up. Like, I'm sick of Instagram. I hate it here. I don't want to be home. I want to train and get back to Brooklyn and have some fun out there. Out here making Kool-Aid teeth and shit. We're fighting, so I'm ready to go. I'm ready to hurt anybody in 165 to 155. Anybody. I don't care if it was your grandmother. If she's ready to fight, let's go. I just need a contract.
Jerome, your new nickname shouldn't be the mechanic. You should be calling yourself Jerome the Kool-Aid Mickles.
No, hell no. Oh my God, Errol, where did you learn to get these names? You're like WWE. He's like the cool.
The Kool-Aid. Just drink the Kool-Aid.
Okay, he is a marketing genius, is he not?
I am. I'm a marketing genius. Look at the background. That is a marketing genius right there. Look at that.
I know.
Jerome, thank you for joining us, my friend.
Nah, take it easy. It's always a pleasure to shoot the shit with you guys.
Awesome.
Hopefully, we'll get back to before this year's over, man.
We'll get you on.
Other than that.
We'll get you on. You know what I want to do? I want to put your next opponent on a screen, and we'll have a video screen of you and your opponent, and us be like the referees. That would be great. And we could do that.
I'm always down to do. You know how many times I try to set that up myself, and you get guys like, "Why are you calling me?" I'm like,
I could do it
because there's a business to this.
We could do it. We could do it.
Why the hell would you want to be a referee? I just sit back and watch.
No, we'll have it right on here. We'll be able to have them talk at each other and us sit between them. You know, we video foot. Now, they don't have to be here. We can video them. I can get his video over here. I can send them a video. They open up the videos, and we can have both of them on the screen.
You can get it over there.
Yes.
Not over here?
Well, everywhere.
There.
Yeah, whatever.
He's
Power animal.
He's a digital presser. I'm okay with it. As soon as we find somebody ready to sign the paper eagerly.
That's okay. Next month he's going 3D.
Yeah, we'll do it until they see footage of me knocking somebody the hell out. Then they say, well, we'll hump his leg. I'll just make love to him slowly. Like, Jesus Christ, bro.
Well, you know, Anthony, that will not happen with me and Anthony, that's for sure.
He's not that lucky.
No, I'm not.
He's not that fortunate. He's not that fortunate.
Well, I can't pronounce your name, so I am not fortunate.
That's where you lost it. Sorry, buddy. Out the window.
Jerome, thank you, man.
All right, take it easy, fellas. Y'all
Later,
stay
buddy.
safe.
Jerome.
Make sure you clean Anthony's microphone. It might have COVID over it. Yo, I'm looking out for you, Ant, because Errol, you know, he sounds a little mischievous over there. You know, he might have got your mic sick for you.
You know, like I said, he's an opportunist. He's an opportunist.
All right, fellas.
Oh, my God. Jerome Mickles, ladies and gentlemen, as you guys know. What a character, man. What a character. You think I'm a character. That guy's even more of a character. Anyways, we're not going to a break. Anthony has his parlay for Saturday's upcoming fights, which is going to be very interesting. We know Jeff's not going to bet on it now.
Listen, it actually may be a little tempting even for Jeff. Even for Jeff, it might be a little tempting. Should we go down?
By the way, before we do that, I want to thank Jillian, our social media queen, and I call him Ricky is our social media king. She is our queen. She actually made the graphic right behind us. It's a great graphic, so I want to give her a compliment. It is a beautiful, beautiful graphic by Jillian. And moving forward now, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, Anthony's parlay. Here we go.
So, based off of, and hopefully I can redeem myself in Jeff's good nature, because these are even better odds than what we had last week. So Jeff's stimulus money could be actually quadrupled at this point. So, going into tomorrow, the main event, we have Walt Harris coming back to the octagon over Overeem. Then from there, we have Claudia Gadelha going over Angela Hill. Mara Borriello. Thank you. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Look at this. We don't just have this, but we have this. I used to look like that, by the way. Anyway, we have Mara Borriello Romero, the immortal Matt Brown, and Anthony Hernandez. Those 5 fighters. So according to DraftKings odds, on a $25 bet, you're winning $640. That's right. It's a plus 2,465. So Jeff, if you're listening, he's writing this down. He's writing this down because you know he would have been calling by now.
He's not writing it down. I'm telling you.
He's writing it down.
He's probably really pissed off that you really did lose the money.
Here's the thing. Hernandez and Holiday, okay.
We're rooting for Hernandez because we're going to have him on the show next week. The week after that.
It's an even matched fight, but Hernandez definitely got a little bit of an edge. The kid's coming off a win streak. It's a nice matchup.
7-1. 7-1 as a pro.
Immortal Matt Brown. He is the underdog in this against this new up-and-coming kid who, unfortunately, has not really been tested. So when you got to go against Matt Brown, he's always going to bring it to you. And yes, Jeff, it's not more than a puncher's chance with Matt Brown. So I'm going against what I said with Gagey. Mara Borriello Romero out of American Top Team. She had a very close decision loss against Montana La Rosa in her last fight. This one, she should definitely win this one. It's Jeff? Is it Jeff? I don't know.
No. You want to see who this is? Let's lower the music. Let's say Welcome to Caged in MMA. Who we speaking to?
Hello?
Who we speaking to?
Yeah, this is Justin Ruins, the dude that you guys were talking about, my teammate, bashing my teammate Khabib.
We're bashing your teammate Khabib.
Yeah, earlier you were talking about, I had just got the link now, so I just saw you guys were bashing my teammate, calling him scared to fight and should be stepping up as a champion. And
Well, first of all, what is your name, by the way? I'm sorry.
again, it's Justin Ruins.
Oh, Justin Ruins. Okay. And Justin, you fight out of
AKA.
Okay, AKA. And first of all, we're
Bob Cook.
Okay.
Greatest coaches in the
Javier
world,
Mendez,
best
yes,
team in the world.
no doubt.
now you're saying we're taking shots at Khabib because we think that he ducked this fight. Is that what you're saying?
So the link I got was hearing you say that it was that he should step up as a champion and that he's scared, and that I can tell you this. So many radio personalities. I love what they do. I respect what you guys do. I respect you guys.
Thank you.
Wanting to create a controversy or wanting to just give your opinion and voice it to the public, which is honorable. But what that man does behind the scenes, my brother Khabib is absolutely one of the greatest teammates, one of the greatest helping hands you could ever meet, always goes above and beyond for others. And to hear his name slandered by people and by reporters, journalists, and because they want to see a fight, they forget that people actually compete and have a life outside of the cage, and that in the cage they are notarized for their ability of accomplishment. There's a whole nother life outside of the cage that fighters have that, people don't understand. And it seems like whenever someone is putting something priority over the cage, you guys bash their name and discredit them and call them scared. When, before everybody was talking shit about Justin Gaethje, and then as soon as he started getting some win streaks, all of a sudden he's talking down. He has an amazing fight with Tony Ferguson, but nobody sees it in all of us fighters that work our ass off, but they want to talk all that shit and never want to understand that there's a whole lot more that goes into it. So my question was, where was the substance that you had, or where was the investigative journalism that you guys had to bash him, call him a coward, or tell him he should step up? I guess I'm asking, what drew that opinion to where you wanted to voice that publicly and bash my teammates?
Well, first of all, we weren't bashing Khabib. We think that Khabib did duck and weave this fight. That's just our opinion. Now, does that mean we're 100% right? We're not sitting and hanging out with Khabib and asking him the situation. We understand that his father is very, very sick, and we understand the background of Khabib. His family is in Russia, and we all know that. And I'm not taking shots at his personality as a fighter, because I love Khabib as a fighter. I've respected him as a wrestler, and I look at him as a guy, an ambassador for the UFC. But when it comes to Tony Ferguson, in my opinion, he's been ducking and weaving him. That's just my opinion. Now, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you know more than I do. But what we've seen, that there should have been 5 fights with Khabib versus Ferguson, and it never happened. Now, 3 times, 2 of the times, he dehydrated, right? Khabib dehydrated. Am I right?
I guess you can. If that's your opinion, obviously there are circumstances and weight cuts.
I'm sure. Yes.
Have you guys ever competed before?
I have. Yes.
Have you guys? You have. So if you've cut weight in any sport, whether that be anything, and you're in any type of an elite athlete, and you put your body through a certain type of regimen, and your body's going to respond or it's not going to. This just happened to be, everybody has a difference to respond. What happened with my brother Khabib, or whatever situation was, that's between them and the coaches and what happened. And the powers that be just never saw. So whether the fight happens or not, you can't discredit a man's track record because of fan-based spectacle that people want to see a fight. If you're telling me that Justin Gaethje can outstrike Tony Ferguson for 5 rounds, you're going to tell me that my teammate can't demolish him? It wouldn't have been. It doesn't matter. And you have your casuals and you have your hardcore, and then you have your actual athletes. You ask any athlete across the board, it's not about, yes, we want to do everything we can to impress the fans. We want to do everything we can to get those showstopper finishes. But at the end of the day, you want us to die and publicly kill ourselves to a sport that we love, that we're passionate about, and as soon as we make an unpopular decision, you just shit on our name.
First of all, Justin, and by the way, I just want to give first of all, I want to introduce you because I don't know if the fans know who you are. We are talking to Justin Ruin, teammate of Khabib.
Out of AKA.
Of AKA. So I'm not taking shots at Khabib as a person, even as a fighter.
Nobody's ever said anything about the talent of Khabib in regards to how good of a fighter. I don't know what link it was that you watched, but I believe it was last week when we gave the pound-for-pound top 5, Khabib was in there. So we never, to use your term, shit on him
yes.
as a fighter. We never did. Because we constantly talk about how this matchup seems like it's not happening.
And it's probably never going to happen.
It's probably been being talked about for the last year.
Last year? It's been talked about for the last 3 years.
Well, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I got you.
So I know it's not just us. I know there are a lot of people that have been wondering why is this fight not happening. It's always usually a comment that comes up during press conferences and pressers that Dana White has to somewhat come up with an answer for. So we're not discrediting or, as you say, shitting on him as a fighter. That's not what we're doing.
No, and
we're talking about how the matchup seems to be cursed or plagued that it's not happening.
And here's another thing. And Justin, again, we respect fighters because we both were fighters. And actually, Anthony is in the MMA Hall of Fame.
Martial Arts Hall of Fame.
Yes, martial arts.
But with that being said, I'm a referee. I've been a referee and things like that. So I'm around fighters and everything. So I respect what everybody does. We all know the games that promoters play. We all know what happens behind the scenes and everything. So we're not taking that out of the fold either and putting all of the blame on Khabib, just to make that clear. Mm-hmm. We're not. Because if you also have heard our show, out of everybody, and it's not Khabib, trust me, Khabib is not public enemy number 1 with us. It's not. It's usually Dana White playing his games with the matchups.
Mm-hmm. And you can
if you actually go back and hear that.
When I had got a link, and when a teammate of mine sends me a link saying, hey, somebody's talking shit about Khabib, about our brother, he's the one who, to tell you, all the link I got and what I heard, the clip that I got, the 35 seconds to a minute is you hear you guys saying that he's scared and should step up to be a champion.
Yes,
and that a real
we have and by the way, Justin, and I'm sorry I'm cutting you off, so I'll let you talk in just 1 second. In our opinion, that's our opinion. Now, that doesn't mean that it's absolutely true. There's no fact to anything that we talk about because factual stuff, we can't go inside a camp and ask questions because they won't let us. But what we see as fans and as analysts, what we read in our thoughts, we think that he's been ducking and weaving Ferguson. Maybe it's a mismatch. I don't know. But that doesn't mean we don't like Khabib. That doesn't mean that I don't respect him as a fighter. And slandering him as a fighter, I've never slandered Khabib. A matter of fact, I loved when he choked out Conor McGregor. This guy right beside me loves Conor McGregor. I can't stand the ML. I don't even want to say it, the mofo. Okay? I can't stand him. And I loved when Khabib choked him out. I loved it. And I loved when he jumped out in the audience and tried to attack his team because they deserve it because all they do is talk crap. I've also been threatened by Conor McGregor himself on social media and his team. And they could kiss my ass too. But as far as I'm concerned, as a Khabib supporter, because I have been a Khabib supporter for years, I just think that he does not want to fight for Tony Ferguson. Because I think in his eyes, he's a mismatch. That's my opinion. Now, I could be wrong. But does that make me a bad guy because I think that? I wouldn't say that. Just like I respect you for calling the show and sticking up for Khabib. So I respect you for that.
You're absolutely right on being entitled to your opinion. 100%. Everybody has an opinion. Everybody's entitled to it. Everyone's entitled to give their opinion publicly, but when it came to my teammate, it just was like, he's the one who got me, who got me my UFC debut. He's the one who got me. And he's not comfortable. He's out here taking care of business, taking care of real business when it comes to being a family man, when it comes to being a teammate, when it comes to being there for his father. and then you have.
I respect him for that. I'm just to let you know that I respect him. My father, Justin, my father died 3 years ago.
He doesn't want to fight. You're saying that he doesn't want to fight Ferguson because of legal allegations or medical allegations of being able to come back to the country and not being able to do that. I mean, that's completely separate from, being able to fight, man. I mean, when it comes down to it, people have investigative journalism and investigative reports. I mean, you could have easily called down to the gym. You could have spoke with Dwayne Zinkin and sent him an email and been like, hey, man, I want to, let's send him an email. Let's figure out what's going on. Then the voice, yes, you're absolutely right. You're entitled to your opinion.
Justin,
100%.
Justin, let me ask you a question. Honest to God. If we asked you to reach out to your team's coaches and you asked them to come on our show, would they?
What do you mean? If I asked them?
Yeah, because you're part of that.
100%.
I'm being serious.
When we are in people in need, when we are in need, if we go to our coaches, we're a family. We're not just a team. We're not just
I respect that.
Cavemen. We're a family. And when people talk shit, he may not say nothing, but I will. He may not punch someone in the mouth, but I will.
I respect that, and again, and you know this more than anything as a media guy, and I've been an analyst for almost 9 years, okay? And I've been a fighter. I've been a semi-pro hockey player. If I didn't hurt my knee, I'd be playing professional hockey. So I know what it is to be on the top of my game. I understand that. And even as an amateur fighter, I was an 8-0 amateur, and as a boxer, I was 23-0-1 as a boxer, okay? So I know what it is to compete. And I'm not taking shots at you or your team. As a matter of fact, I'm happy that you called. You know why? Because it gives me the understanding that some people actually do listen and understand that we have our own opinions towards what's going on, not only in MMA, but sports. But you're absolutely right. We don't know Khabib personally as a person, but I could tell you that something else. I lost my father 3 years ago. Okay? I lost my father. And he died at 55 years old, man. And I know what it's like. Thank you. I know what it's like to lose somebody and lose somebody really deep, deep to my heart. And the reason why I talk sports, one of the reasons why is my father, who kept pushing me to do what I do. And I'll tell you this right now. I respect you for calling the show. I absolutely do. And sticking up for your teammate, because it shows me that you are not only a man, but you're showing me that you really do care about what people are saying about your partner, your brother, and who he is as a fighter. But again, we're not taking shots at them as a person. We're not even taking shots at him as a fighter. We're just saying that in our thought, and maybe it is Dana White. Maybe Dana White's behind all of this. I don't know. Okay, and I will repeat myself. I'm not a big Dana White fan, but I also
that's the thing too. Is like people talk about. That's the thing, is that Dana's Dana, man.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, people talk shit.
Mm-hmm.
People talk shit.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, you are who you are on the camera.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, some guys sell it when the camera's on. Some guys are just sincere in who they are when it's off and when it's on. Doesn't matter. Dana's Dana, man. He absolutely bleeds for this business. He absolutely loves and cares for the fighters. He's willing to help out anybody. He's just, when you draw the line, you draw the line. Business is business at the end of the day. And
Justin.
You can't agree on
Justin.
business.
Justin. You want to say something, Anthony?
Please, Justin. Like we said before, we respect the fact that you called in to defend your teammate. I will give you that. The other thing you have to understand, and I'm sure you do, especially being where you're at, when it comes to opinions, when it comes to the media, a lot of the stuff that we get and a lot of the stuff that we speak on is based on what's presented and what's brought public. That's why when it comes to investigating journalism and stuff like that, the word investigating is very, I would say, vague in regards to how much access you could get to certain things. And I'm not backtracking on anything that we said. Wait.
I don't mean to cut you off, but what about educational journalism? If we're not talking about investigative, what about educational? Like, have you done your due research to say, hey, this man is, I mean, you can give your opinion at the end of the day. Awesome. I mean, that's cool. You have a radio show. I wish you nothing but the best and success, man.
Mm-hmm.
I hope you got, that, I mean, that's cool. But if I go on Ariel's show and he comes and talks to me, and it's only streamed, it doesn't matter how many times, but he comes and talks to me, I know that whatever shit he's going to bring coming up, I know that it's going to be educated. It's going to be
really.
You think it's whoa?
Hold on 1 second. Now I'm cutting in this one. I'm cutting in this one. Ariel Helwani, okay, is a guy that kisses Dana White's ass. He's been doing it for years, okay? And I know Ariel Helwani.
Ariel's a good dude, man.
Yeah, so are we, Justin. So are we. We're good dudes.
I'm not saying you're not. I'm not saying
we're good dudes, man.
Good dudes, man. I'm just saying when it comes to, I mean,
what makes him educated?
Man,
what makes him educated?
Not, like you really think whether they fought or not, man. You're really thinking that when it comes to the lightweight division and it comes to representing an organization and it comes to being a champion of champions, when it comes to just the ability to compete at the elite level and do it time and time again and do it in a dominant fashion for years, everybody's going to come up with their own damn excuse to figure out how do we stop this guy. Journalists do it with GSP. Journalists did it with Cain Velasquez, and then as soon as he lost, he was indestructible. As soon as he lost, he's just a human. Khabib's not just a fighter, and what irks me about when journalists or when people come on their podcast and whatever they say, they give their opinion. To me, it's like, yeah, we're quick to call in. We're quick to say something when our brother's being talked about, when he does more for people than half the people do.
And I respect that. We respect him as a person. But don't get me wrong. We respect him.
But as a champion, you really think he's not stepping up as a champion, man?
Hold on. Hold on. Now, Justin, you're taking words out of our mouth.
I wanted to go back to finding out why Ariel Helwani is educated.
Well, he's not educated. I'll tell you this right now. You could say whatever you want about Ariel Helwani as an educated MMA analyst. We all know how he got his job. We all know where he is in the business is because of Dana White. And as far as I'm concerned,
I might have a biased opinion on that too. I mean, honestly, when nobody wanted to talk to me, he talked to me. When nobody wanted to, he's all about up and coming. He's all about next things. He's also about what's elite. So I guess maybe I do have a biased opinion.
Yes.
But I'll tell you what, man. When it comes to just getting into the shit, man, and it comes to getting gritty, it doesn't. My brother does it the best. Come on, man. You got so many people on these podcasts talking about Khabib and Ferguson. But even if that shit happened, he would have wiped the floor with a little punk ass Ferguson all day. Yeah, he's great at conditioning, but he's a shitty ass wrestler.
Do you think anybody deserved? Do you think anybody?
He's gonna run his little rubber guard black.
But here's the thing: do you really think Gaethje deserved that shot anyway? Because we didn't, and we said it.
He's a fucking beast, man.
He's a beast, but here's the thing. Whose fight is that? Is that really Gaethje's fight? Is that really Gaethje's fight against Tony?
Because another man's opportunity for achieving a lifelong dream that he worked his ass off for and he was able to get into position for, because it wasn't what fans wanted to see, it's a mistake? Is that what you're saying? Because I can tell you this, for whatever reason, they had 3 opportunities. 3 times they didn't fight. Okay, oh well. Justin stepped in, and he's not even my teammate, man. I don't even train with the guy. But I'll tell you this: if the dude stepped up to fight a guy like Tony, because I got respect for Tony Ferguson. Don't get it wrong, but I'm competitive. He's a competitor. That's just the way it is, man.
I want you to know something. I want you to know something. By the way, we are talking to professional fighter Justin Ruin, and I want to say something to you because I have a tremendous amount of respect, because you're calling the show and you're arguing your points, and we respect you for that. We have nothing against your team. We have nothing against Khabib as a person, even as a fighter. And I'll say that again, because I think when people call, and I don't want it to ruin who we are as broadcasters and analysts, because we don't want people to look at us like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about, so we're not going to listen to you. Which is crap, because we actually do know what we're talking about. But we also don't know what's going inside your gym, your team. So we don't know what the situation is with Khabib. We really don't know. But I'll tell you this. In five fights that should have happened with Khabib and Ferguson, it never did. So in our eyes, there's got to be something to it, okay? And it's not Ferguson. It really isn't, because Ferguson wants to fight Khabib. He's been wanting to fight Khabib. You know it.
You don't think Khabib's in one?
Oh, I do. I absolutely do.
Doesn't want to fight Ferguson.
No, I didn't
realize that. I will tell you this.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to the behind the, when it comes to off camera, when it comes to the men in the gym actually doing it,
Mm-hmm.
and not people, when it comes to actually getting in there, every one of us. Every single one of us respect Tony. Every single one of us know that he'd come and he's going to bring. I mean, is he going to win? Hell no. Does he have a chance to win? Hell no. But is he going to give his best? Absolutely. Is he going to come to fight? Hell yeah. He's a tough son of a bitch. That dude is absolutely. He's amazing. He is absolutely.
I
amazing.
agree. I think Khabib is the best fighter.
What I say is that Khabib is not like Khabib would rather fight him than when he fought McGregor anyway. That little Irish punk. He's great for promotion. Yeah, absolutely. He's great at promoting. He's great at what he does in his own craft. But when it comes to fighting, when it comes to really getting into deep water, he's going to drown every time. And that's exactly what my teammate did to him. 100%. Showed him that when it comes down to really going into the deep water, he folds every single time.
And by the way, I loved every minute of it. I loved every minute of it when he choked out Conor McGregor. A matter of fact, I was dancing when it happened. Okay, so
with Justin getting the fight, tell me how with Justin getting with Gaethje's ass going in and stepping in because my brother can't make it back. He's going. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on.
Right.
Personal things that if he can't make it, all of a sudden it's a mistake though, and he's not a champion. I'm not saying that you're discrediting him now. You made yourself clear right now.
Yes.
I respect that.
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm saying is when it's out of your hands, it's out of your hands, and there's still an event that needs to be done. Anybody, I mean, look, man, you stepped in at short notice. You step in. The man not only stepped in, but he also took the damn belt from him. So you're telling me that if he would have even stood against the cage against my teammate, then my teammate wouldn't have won that fight.
First of all, Khabib is going to kick the hell out of Justin Gaethje. Okay, I don't even think it's going to be much of a fight. Okay, so I think it's a complete mismatch, and I can't wait until it happens because I believe it probably won't last 1 or 2 rounds. He'll probably tap him out. I don't think Gaethje stands a chance against Khabib. But again, I think when it comes to, and you know this, when it comes to fighting, it's all about styles. And I believe out of all the fighters right now in that division, the only person that could put a fight on Khabib is Tony Ferguson. And I don't think we'll ever see that, unfortunately. And that has nothing to do with you. It doesn't have anything to do with me. It has everything to do with Dana White and making a decision on, and I know Dana White does not like Tony Ferguson, and that's a guarantee. Analytically, we know that Dana White doesn't like Tony Ferguson because Tony Ferguson deserved a title fight for years, and he never got it. So again, Dana White's all about picking the guys that he wants to get into that fight because they have a bigger draw. Khabib is a big draw. He's a huge draw. And so is Conor McGregor. But we all know Tony Ferguson's not a big draw. And you saw what happened to our boy Johnson, Demetrius Johnson. You saw what happened to him. They screwed him. This guy was the best fighter in the UFC for almost 3 years. And they tossed him to the side because he's not a big draw. Am I lying about that? Because
what I'll say is this, man. What I'll say is this, man, is that honestly, man, to tell you the truth, when it comes to like fighting, that's what we do, man. When it comes to fighting,
I respect that.
There's a difference from looking outside the cage than being in it. And all I'm saying is, yes, everybody has an opinion, but if you're going to pick 2 guys in one division, this is just an opinion. Okay. But you're going to put 2 guys in one division, and they're each going to represent a country. This is Khabib's own teammate saying this, that 100%, if you had to pick anybody in the lightweight division to represent America, you want to pick Justin Gaethje. You want to represent the USA? Absolutely. Because that's how he sees it. That's the mindset you're going to have to go in to fight Khabib. Now he's going to lose.
Interesting.
Okay, yeah. Khabib's going to do what he does, and that's smash his opponent. That's just what he's going to do. He's going to beat Khabib. But what I'm saying is when if you're going to have Russia against USA, I'm 100% All-American all day long.
Mm-hmm.
So I would be honored to see Justin Gaethje represent the USA and fly these colors and go against the greatest lightweight ever, the greatest fighter ever.
I think he's the greatest. I think he's one of the top 3 greatest fighters ever. Okay, and that's coming from me, who is a huge BJ Penn fan. Grew up a BJ Penn fan. I hate Matt Sarah, so I'm not going to say Matt Hughes, GSP. These are guys that I respect as fighters. But the fact is in my opinion, and you have a right to your own opinion, I want to see Tony Ferguson versus Khabib. I think the world wants to see Tony Ferguson versus Khabib, and I'm not. And I don't.
Why, man? Why do you guys want to? That's just crazy. That's what's crazy.
No, but
man. It literally it's crazy to us because it's like if you saw what Justin did to Tony Ferguson, what the hell do you? I mean, it's like. Come on, man.
Justin, let me ask you this.
It would be the quickest fight you'd ever see.
Justin, let me ask you this really quick.
You wouldn't get your money's worth.
Before the result that just happened with the Ferguson and Gaethje fight, before that, you, in your own opinion, in all honesty, you don't think that Ferguson was the next guy in line in regards to the tough, in terms of 1 and 2 in that division. You don't believe it was Khabib and Ferguson before what happened last week? That it was always Justin and Khabib.
Tony Ferguson deserves a title shot.
No, in terms of Tony being the number one contender, let's call it. Okay? Before what happened between Gaethje and Ferguson, which is what we've been saying the whole time, we've been saying it for a while now, you don't believe that Ferguson was the number one contender for the longest time before, obviously, what happened this weekend.
Oh, absolutely I do. Absolutely, the man won a world title. You can't discredit any man that wins a world title. I don't give a damn who you are. It's very far in between to win a world title, especially in an elite athlete game.
And based off of what you said,
and he hasn't been beaten until he fought Justin Gaethje.
And for the longest time, everybody wanted to see that fight. Correct? I know we're not the only ones. Everybody else has wanted to see Ferguson and Khabib for the longest time. Correct?
But it was going to be the same result. It's kind of like the same thing.
We're not talking about the result. We're talking about the matchup. Of course, don't get me wrong. I wanted to see the matchup, and I'm not a Tony Ferguson fan.
You can't stand Tony Ferguson.
I'm not.
I'm a Tony Ferguson fan, and I'm a Khabib fan. I'm both. I'm a fan of both of them.
So when it comes down to it, seeing the fight, okay, when it comes down to being, as you would want to say, educated fans, journalists, whatever, and such. When it comes to a stylistic matchup, who the hell would not want to see that fight? Who? People have been wanting to see it for like 5 years.
Stylistically, but it doesn't. Divisions must go on, man.
No, but you know what it is?
Must go on.
Because I'm one of the people.
Two guys don't determine this. That's why. Why do you think what's going on with the heavyweight division? Why it's such bullshit? You can't do nothing. It's blocked up.
And here, I'm glad you brought that up.
You're going to like this one.
I'm glad he brought this up. Okay, I'm glad you brought this up. Now, you coming out of AKA, you've had Cain Velasquez in there. You've had a lot of, you have DC in there. You have a lot of guys in there and such. Now, there's reports out there, and since we got you on there, I know you've heard this. Everybody's heard it. Dana White's threatening to strip Stipe.
The great Dana White, by the way.
He's threatening to strip Stipe if he does not go against the stay-at-home order and show up and fight, because he says the division must go on.
He's going to strip who?
Stipe.
Mm-hmm.
Stipe. It was reported the day after 249, because then there was a conversation which might have been Ariel Helwani, the educated Ariel Helwani.
The great educated
Ariel Helwani.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry that
Superman.
I'm sorry for my tone, but when anybody calls him educated, I think of all the press conferences that Dana White kicked him the hell out of when he was asking people about what they did on their summer vacation rather than the damn fight or the weigh-in, and it kind of pisses me off a little bit. I'm sorry, Justin. But when it all's said and done...
But if you think about it,
we got
don't get me wrong. We got you laughing, and we know he treated you well. We know listen. He treated you well. He's your boy. We got it.
We'll spank him for you.
Listen,
we'll spank him for you.
It's okay. You can say you're biased. That's fine. I'm not. I don't like him. You like him. Great. And I guarantee you, the minute he pisses you off, you're going to be on this show.
Yes, you're going to love coming on our show. Trust me, we'll let you on our show whenever you want.
We'll put your face right here.
We'll put it right over
here.
Right here.
I'm telling you, man. Realistically, it doesn't matter when Stipe steps in. It doesn't matter with that Ngannou dude steps in. It doesn't matter. None of that matters. But at the end of the day, I mean, DC's gonna whip their ass.
He can't say it. He can't say it. He's laughing because he knows. You know what it is? He likes Ariel, but in a way, he knows. There's a little bit of truth.
Yeah.
A little bit of truth. Look at the Nick Diaz press conferences. He knows. Come on.
Hey, Justin, anytime Ariel wants to come on this show and argue his points when MMA, I guarantee you by the time he gets off our show, we will blow him out of the water because we know more about this sport than he will ever know. And that's a fact.
That's an educated fact.
That's an
educated fact.
That's a
But
fact.
as we were going back, I'm sorry, I got off the track. Now, they want to strip Stipe. Me personally, if this has to pass by, just like everything else has to pass by with the COVID thing and such and all that, you know, he is a first responder. He's a family man. He's worried about bringing stuff back to his kids and everything, just like other people did when they went to Florida. And some people wanted to take that risk. And don't get me wrong, some of the people, in my opinion, still put themselves in harm's way just because you don't know what possibly may happen. It's a risk, especially when you have children and a wife and a family that you want to come back.
Yeah.
I think everybody could agree with that. So I wasn't a big. I was more of the let's stay back from this and let it pass by a little bit more, than push for the fights. Let alone this many fights in one area, which is it's the most heavily infected area in all of Florida. That is actually proven. That's educated, not from Ariel, from us. We read it. We saw it.
And here's another thing.
It was right here. It was right here.
And by the way, Mr. Dana White, he should be really reaching out to us and asking us to do his interviews because I think we know a little bit more about the fighters, what the fighters, and how the fighters, think of their fights and getting into their fights. I think Ariel just likes to hear himself talk. And I'll tell you this right now. I have nothing against him as a man. I really don't. I got nothing. I know Anthony is breathing.
Like him. No,
he doesn't like him. I have nothing.
I don't like him.
He doesn't like him.
I don't like him.
I have nothing against him as a man. Nothing.
Who? Ariel?
Yeah, I have nothing against
the hell
him.
with him with that, please. Stop with that.
Brett Okamoto, though.
Don't get me. Oh, no. I'm not. No. No, I don't like him either. There's a reason why they make that guy type things during the fight and not talk. There's a reason why you got to scroll down to see what he has to say during the fight, and they don't let him talk.
Man, out of all the interviews I've been interviewed by Chael Sonnen, by being interviewed by Brett Okamoto, by being interviewed by Ariel Helwani, I'll tell you what.
You like Chael, don't you?
I mean, I'm telling you, man. Ariel just happened to know his shit, man. That's the only reason why I'm a little bit biased, is because he also gave me time when a lot of people didn't. As soon as you start getting your name, start going the right way, that's when people want to come out, man, and that's when they want to notice you. But I mean, he takes.
This has nothing. And Justin, I'm going to cut you off here because this has nothing to do about getting noticed. It really doesn't. It has nothing to do. We're not here to try to get noticed or trying to kiss somebody's ass because we're not ass kissers. I can guarantee you that. And if you met us in person, you'll like us because we're straightforward guys. We're funny. We're energetic. And we speak from our hearts for what we know about this sport. We love this sport. This guy is in the MMA
Martial Arts Hall of Fame.
MMA. It's the same thing.
It's not the same thing.
It's the same thing.
Not the same thing.
All right. Martial Arts Hall of Fame. Okay. Okay. He is in the Martial Arts Hall of Fame.
See, I'm educated. I just fixed him.
And you are an idiot.
Thank you.
That's you.
But anyway, going back to what you were saying, Justin, and here's the other thing about Mr. Helwani, okay, that maybe we may actually be a little bit more biased with. We're more about Dana White educating the fan base on the up-and-coming fighters that he does not do anymore.
And there is not many of them, that's for sure.
You'll hear us talk about Sadiq Youssef. You'll hear us talking about Mitchell. You'll hear us talking about a lot of these guys that are under the radar that unless you're watching the prelims, which he does not promote that very well.
Not at all.
Or the Facebook fights. Okay? And I'm not going to put you in a position where you're going to say anything. I'm not going to ask you anything.
Not at all.
We're
not going to do that.
Anything that Uncle Dana may try to threaten people with later, like a paycheck, because we know he does that, let alone poor Stipe. Stipe is a freaking firefighter. They want to strip him. I'd rather see DC and him 3. That's the fight that should be made, rather than a vacated title fight. But he doesn't want to do that.
No.
He doesn't want to do that. No. Okay? So when it all comes down to it, we're totally 1,000%. You want to call it bias, call it bias. We are 1,000% behind the up-and-coming fighters becoming more noticed and the fan base being able to have the opportunity to become more educated.
And we speak for them.
And
we really do. We
if
speak
you hear
for
these
them.
shows, you'll hear us talking about it.
I mean, That's what we need, man. That's what a lot.
You remember the Ultimate? You remember back when the Ultimate Fighter show was on? Back when the Ultimate Fighter show was on, they did a hell of a job of connecting the viewer with the personality behind the fighter. The last few seasons, they didn't do that anymore. They didn't. Who the hell knew who Chris Lieben and Nate Quarry were unless you were on the inside circle of MMA? You didn't know that about them in season 1. But everybody, who the hell, believe it or not, the highest part of the ratings for the Ultimate Fighter is not the fight at the end. It's the fighters and them living with each other and getting to know who they are. The countdown specials, did you ever notice they get shorter and shorter? They used to cover 3 or 4 fights back in the day. Now it's just the main and the co-main event. How is that fair? It's not. And the only way you could actually connect with the fighter is just based on how they're fighting, their win and loss record, which let's be real about the situation. Is that really fair? Is that what they did with Liddell and Couture and all those guys back then? No. The personality was the first thing on stage when they used to show them. And of all people, Ken Shamrock. Hello? Yeah. Okay. Great record.
World's most dangerous man.
Please. So when it all comes down to it, and you want to talk about, journalism and this and that and opinions and things like that, you have the good opinions, you have the bad opinions and stuff.
And we are the good. We are the good.
And here's the thing.
We are the good.
Nobody shows the...
Honestly, man, if you guys like getting behind fighters, man, I got to say, he's not with our gym, man, but I've known him for a long time. You guys need to get behind Kyle Bosniak, man. Shout out to him, dude. He's one of the fucking greatest beasts you'll ever see.
Mm-hmm.
Dude is a machine, man. People don't get behind don't get behind the fighter themselves. They get behind the fight that they produce.
By the way, we're talking to UFC fighter, professional fighter, Justin Ruin.
And just so you know, in a perfect example of what we're talking about, the up-and-coming fighters, a lot of times we have a wonderful team of interns and people behind the scenes that try to contact fighters and everything. The first thing that we do is go after the up-and-coming fighters, because that's how much we figured if Uncle Dana doesn't want to do it, we will. That's what it comes down to. That's why we have Anthony Hernandez. Mm-hmm. We were actually going to try to get him on the show today, but with the weight cut and everything, since he's fighting tomorrow, we're pushing it back to the next show. And like we said, it's...
If Dana's listening, he's the greatest president. He's the greatest person in the world.
I said we're not going to put you in a situation like that. You don't have to say nothing.
He's the greatest.
You want to know something? If Dana was, Justin, if Dana was sitting here right now, we would respect him. I respect him as a man, as a guy that knows how to make money. He knows how to make money. There's no question. He knows how to promote. He absolutely does. Here's the problem. He looks at himself bigger than the world. He looks like he makes himself bigger than the fighters that are fighting, putting their lives on the line in that octagon. And he don't pay them enough. And I've said that on this show, and I am not afraid. If Dana wants to call this show, and you can tell him that, I have no problems with that. And hey, listen, if Dana ever wants to sit down and talk to us, I would love to talk to Dana White. You know why? Because we're going to tell.
But think about this, though. But I do got to say this, man, because this is. I do have to say this. Like,
good.
It really is a true fact, man. And any real athlete. I'm an NCAA Division I All-American. I don't make no paychecks off of that. I don't make any money off of that. I don't make endorsements off of that. Maybe you might get a sponsorship, possibly, and that's what you live off of. Do a couple wrestling seminars. You can do something like that. Okay. At the end of the day, man, it doesn't. You do this either if you're doing this for the money, you better sell yourself the way you need to be sold. That's why Connor's good at what he does. But you can't bitch and complain, and you can't gripe when you're not willing to take a fight whenever you want. It's job security shit. When you need to, if you got in this fight game because you love it, you won't be dissatisfied.
Hey, Justin.
Yes,
Hey, Justin.
Goes in. Yes, it goes in. If
Justin.
you got to make a paycheck off of you, man. That's where fighters' misconception is. Think about it, man. You had Chael Sonnen, right? You had Chael Sonnen. He was a nobody. All of a sudden, he got to talking, and then people started noticing it. And then what did he do? Every single time he went in that cage, though, he fought his ass off. That's what matters at the end of the day, man. People can say what they want to say. I'm going to tell you right now. At the end of the day, your spit off from your knees, your elbows, your wrestling, everything you can. You put it all together, and you make a masterpiece with it, and it draws attention of the audience. If you can do that and do interviews good, do what you got to do.
Right.
At the end of the day, if you're not in this for passion, if you're not in this for the love of the sport and to compete to be the top athlete at that level, if you're not in this for world titles, or a paycheck, that's why people aren't successful.
Well, this is not this. That's not what we're saying.
They're in this for a paycheck.
Justin, we're not saying that. We're not saying that. You want to be the best of the best.
No, I know. I'm not saying you guys are saying that. I'm just saying.
I'm mad. I'm mad because you guys aren't paid enough. I'm mad because you guys are not paid enough. There are boxers. There are boxers on undercards making a hell of a lot more money than you are.
We're also, but we're not also in the organization. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm an advocate for more money every day.
Well, there we go. There we go, Justin. I'm sticking up for you, buddy. I'm sticking up for you.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But there's always two sides to a coin, though. And that, like I said, I'm an honest man. What you see is what you get. I don't have to.
Right.
I don't give a damn. At the end of the day, I'm still going to fight.
Justin,
at the end of the day, I'm still going to be. I'm going to be a world champion.
Justin, Dana's got a Disney coin. Okay, he's got a Disney coin. So I don't want to hear about two sides of the coin, and somebody's got to worry about buying groceries for the kids and it being named Dana White. Don't get me started with that, okay?
Okay, so two sides to a story then, we'll say. Okay?
His story starts with that little
Minnie
Disney
and Mickey.
thing.
Minnie and Mickey.
Ears. Okay? That's what starts off his. The same guys that said that a certain fight wasn't happening, okay? Disney.
So let me tell you this. So it goes like this. It'll go like this. Look, man, you guys are working hard. You guys know you're saying you're passionate about this business. You're passionate about what you know. You know you can put Ariel on the show, and you guys would show absolutely that there's a level to this thing, and you're working your ass off, right?
Mm-hmm.
But did you get into this because you want to turn a profit?
No.
Okay,
Are you serious?
So at the end of the day, would you say you're still fulfilled with your job when you're ready, when the lights go off and you go home to your family? Would you say that you feel a job well done?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. So then fighters don't have no problem.
But that has nothing to do with. Wait, hold on. I'm not Donald Duck here. I'm not Donald Duck. Okay. This isn't Space Jams.
Everybody wants more money. Yes, this is money is what we.
It's the key.
It's what we have.
Justin.
But to some people, what I'm telling you is, if you're not in this sport to be the best and to win a world title, and you're only in it for a paycheck, people are gonna bitch because they're not seeing the result they want because they have the wrong goal.
Okay, but Justin, with that being said, hold on one second. With that being said, let me break something down that Mr. Hawani probably doesn't break down for anybody. When it all comes down to it, you had to go. Where was your last fight located, Justin? Overseas. Thank you. This is gonna be beautiful. And I bet you Ariel could give two rats' asses about this. So based off of your contract, okay, you have a team that comes with you. You have licensing that has to get done. You have medicals that have to get done. You have a training camp. You have food. You have bills on top of that because the bills don't wait for you to come back overseas and such. So all of that comes into play, and I'm not stupid. I am educated when it comes down to it. Trust me, I'm educated. My stupid ass cut 30 pounds after cutting 10 pounds for my last pro fight, and I had to go against Costa Filippo, who lit me up in 24 seconds, and I did it. Why? For the money. Yes, I did, because I had bills. And plain and simple, to things that weren't going to wait. So there's a realistic side of this. And yes, everything is passion and such, but there's got to be a compensation because when it all comes down to it, some of you guys don't have insurance. You don't have medical. You have, like I said before, all these bills that you don't wait for when you're coming back from overseas. And this is a realistic situation. So when it comes down and you look at the percentages, and they have no problem showing the pay scale of all of these fighters, what they get paid, the show, the win, the bonus, this, that, and everything like that.
I mean, yeah. There's plenty of times where we don't get our injuries fixed until after we fight, or we just keep it quiet.
And the only reason why I'm cutting you off is because I'm not saying I'm putting words in your mouth, and I'm stopping it right there because we don't want somebody getting in trouble. And I'm not going to risk anybody getting paid. I will never, ever risk anyone getting paid and getting in trouble getting paid at all.
Justin, let me ask you a question. Is Ariel Helwani not making money from the UFC?
Who makes more money, you or Ariel?
Hold on. Do you think that Ariel Helwani is doing this for the love of the sport? Please answer my question.
Based off of my I can only give you based off of my interactions with the man.
Mm-hmm.
I go by case basis.
Mm-hmm.
People can say what they want, but I go by me.
I'm not liking this answer already.
Based on the interaction I've had with Ariel, he seems sincere about everything he does. He really does. Now, if it's a front, it's a front. I don't know the man enough to know if it's a front.
Either do we, but we know it's a front.
See, that's the thing, though. I can only go like you said. You guys are passionate about what you do, but I guarantee you, there's always that hater. There's always that one person.
I'm not hating on Ariel Helwani. I wish nothing but the best for him.
I'm not hating on him.
I wish nothing for the best for him.
I'm not hating on him. I just hate him.
I'm just saying there's for every victory or for every moment you get that's amazing, there's always going to be criticism behind it. There's always a man going to have criticism behind everything you do. But is that criticism that they're giving you valid enough to say that's who they are? Or is it just their opinion and we go back to that's just my opinion?
And speaking about...
when I say something, I'm telling you, like, when you got guys that are complaining about they don't have their bank accounts right and they're not driving what they want to drive and they can't build your brand. If a dude off the streets of Ireland can come to our beautiful country, can come to the USA and be one of the top paid athletes, don't tell me you can't do it. You just don't. You got to build your brand.
I tell you what. You know how we're going to build our brand? We're going to just talk crap about everybody like he does. Okay? That's what we're going to do.
I mean,
we're going to go over here. You know what? You can go sit on a horse's you know what. How's that?
I'm going to go to a big and tall store, and get a suit that says F Ariel all the way down in pinstripes in a suit.
Eat me.
And I'll tell you right now, okay, if you could see how fat I am, that's a lot of F Ariels in fabric. That's going to be coming around me. And play it simple. That's why, and like I said, you know what? It's funny. When he first called, and he was very confrontational, I didn't like him. I'm liking him.
I love him.
Very much.
I love him.
We have to have him on more.
Absolutely.
I'm telling you. And I'm not kissing his ass because he's not going to like me anyway. Yeah. So I'm just saying. He's going to remember why he called and still not like us. So, but here's the thing. When it all comes down, and like I said, I don't like Ariel Helwani. I don't. You could call him educated, you call him whatever the hell. Plain and simple. Unless he's had ear damage from cauliflower, you know what I mean? If he's ever gotten punched in the face for anything other than his lunch money, I don't want to hear it. If he's ever had to cut weight, maybe I'll give him a credit for that. I don't know.
I've got a nickname for him. We're going to call him Slappy, okay?
So, and here's my thing, and here's the other thing about Ariel.
Dudes may never competed, man. I mean,
I think no, but you want to know something?
So it goes back to the basics. You guys have competed.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're on your show, right?
Right.
We're on your show.
We'll go on his show. We'll tell him
his show.
Yeah, we'll go on his show.
But I'm saying you guys are both. You guys have competed before, correct? Some type of professional or some type of athletic level.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. So you guys have both competed. You guys both know what it's like. Then you're saying that, okay, you know what? We understand the fighter. We know what it's like. We've been there, right? Because I don't want to put words in your mouth.
No, you're not.
No. Okay.
But I want to see how this spins back to Ariel. Don't keep him out of the equation.
But what I'm saying is that if this is how you guys, I mean, if this is truly, and this is your passion, and you're saying, look, we understand, we know what the mindset's like, and this is our passion, then to be honest, it should never matter. To go back to the point of what we were talking about when it came down to money, when it came down to Khabib, when it came just to kind of sum it all up, then you never want to ever, you can't complain, you can't bitch and gripe over the cards that you're dealt when you're not willing to play another hand or to work harder to get a new suit. Plain and simple.
I like that saying.
You guys have been passionate about what you do. You guys have been athletes before. So if that's the case, then you reap only what you put in, man, what you sow. It's the same thing. You guys can only put in that's it. So if you guys are going to work hard, okay. If Ariel works he's in a different lane, he does what he does for whatever reason it worked for him. You got to do what's best for you and work for you. But if you're going to advocate for fighters, you got to go both sides of it and be fair across the board.
And we are.
I can't say,
we are very much.
And I'm not saying you're not. I'm not saying you're not. What I'm saying is, as a fighter, if I'm going to say this, as a fighter, if I'm going to hear a guy say, "Man, I wish I made more money," what the hell are you doing?
Mm-hmm. I understand.
It's only up to you. If I go, it's up to me to sign the contract. Dana's going to give me a contract, and he's going to say, "You're going to work. This is how much I think you're worth right now." or this is how much I think viewers are going to say you're worth. See, a person can tell me what I'm going to make that day, but they can't tell me what I'm worth in life.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fact. So I can always build my brand, and I can always do what I just the same as my brother Khabib did. He was a kid that was raised in one of the harshest countries.
Mm-hmm. I know all about his story. Mm-hmm.
And yet he's being raised up, and he comes in here, wins a world title in the greatest country in the world, wins a world title, makes money, does for others, stay humble, and still doesn't have this pride or this ego that lays on his back every day that says, I got to act and be a certain way. I got to pretend to do this. You get sincerity from him 100%. Same with DC. I'll tell you, people talk shit, but I'll tell you, I call him Coach DC because he deserves that respect. He's sincere. They give you
one of the greatest wrestlers. He's one of the greatest wrestlers to ever come out of the UFC. I know.
So it comes down to, if a fighter is bitching about money, if he's bitching about what he's not getting paid and he's out there fighting his ass off and doing what he's got to do more. Because it ain't enough then. Mm-hmm. What are you not doing that people don't want to see? Or what are you not doing to produce the income and the revenue that you want to see in your life?
Mm-hmm.
People don't give a damn about Stipe. They don't give a damn about Stipe. But he's also not worried about money. Why do you think he ain't been that? He don't give a shit about money. He's not in this for money. He doesn't care. Why do you think he sits with a smile on his face and lets people talk? He'll flood the whole damn division. He doesn't give a shit.
Mm.
He's comfortable. He's happy. So that's what I'm saying, man, is if people are going to say, I'm going to advocate for fighters and getting paid more. Yes, do we want to get paid more? Absolutely. Do boxers get paid more than us? Yes, these are facts. But what are you doing to become more valuable to earn that revenue? Because there's only once in a lifetime Conor McGregor's. And that's a fighter that, does that mean he's the best fighter in the world? Hell no, but he can sell his ass off.
And you can too. You know what you got to do? I got an idea for you, Justin. Every time you're ready to fight and you're ready to sign that contract, you go in with, I guess a man thong. With a man thong.
You knew when he started laughing this was not going to go
Shave
good.
your ass. Put the fighter's picture on your ass. That will sell, man. That will sell.
You want to know what sells the best? Winning fights. If you want to know what sells the best is win fights and don't give a shit. Plain and simple.
Which takes me back to your boy Ariel. Which takes me back to your boy Ariel.
By the way, but before you say that, well, you've been on Ariel's show and you've been on our show. How much more fun have you been on his show to our show?
He's not going to answer that.
Come on, be honest.
He's not going to answer that.
Be honest.
He's not going to answer that.
Be honest. You know the truth.
He's not going to answer that.
Be honest.
He's not going to
Tell
answer.
him the
I
truth.
can't blame him for not answering.
Tell him the truth. Let everybody in the world know whose show you enjoy being on. Really.
He's not going to answer that.
Come on.
The show I enjoy being on is the show that I'm on in the moment.
That was a good answer. That was a great answer. I like that. I like that. That's a great answer.
I give credit to. But I want to also say that this is not about. This has nothing to do with me. This has nothing to do with who I am. Mm-hmm. This had everything to do with the integrity of my team, the integrity of my teammate, and the integrity of our family. And when it comes to being loyal, when it comes to doing the right thing, I felt the need that I needed to, whether whoever show it was, however I needed to reach out, didn't matter if another teammate of mine needed to reach out, it was going to happen to anybody. I mean, it may not happen that day. You just so happen to answer the phone. I do appreciate, and I'm grateful, and I thank you for answering the phone and having a dialogue with me and having a conversation. But at the end of the day, it comes back to go to the root of the reason of the call. Mm-hmm. It's the fact that my teammate is 100% one of the greatest human beings and greatest champions. I'm not saying you didn't say that. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying to publicly, so everybody knows out there that has an opinion about whether he should fight this person or not. It doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, every single person's going to come at him and every single person's going to fall. That man, when he wants to lose, he'll lose. When he wants to give it up, he'll give it up. It's up to him, because it's all in his control. But if he doesn't want nobody to have the belt, you ain't gonna. And he sells. He also, Khabib puts asses in the seats, and he also makes sure that pay-per-view sells. He doesn't have to sit there and talk. He's got more revenue and done just as much numbers as Conor McGregor does, and kept his mouth shut and said a few sentences. So at the end of the day, the W is what matters.
Oh, just so you know, just so you know, I support Khabib against Conor McGregor any day, any place, and you can tell Khabib that anytime he wants to come on this show and take shots at Conor McGregor, I will give him the mic. I will hand him the mic and say what he feels, because I don't care what Conor says. Conor is a joke, okay? He is a joke. And I'll say that to him right to his face. I think he's a joke. And that's all I'm going to say about him. Okay, and you can tell him and his little boyfriends over there at his fight team, they can kiss this, okay? And you can watch this. He can kiss this, okay? Because I don't give a crap what he has to say, and he can yap 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 in his little Irish Newton screaming churro whiskey, whatever he wants to do. He can enjoy himself, because to me, yes, he sells, but when it comes down to the point, this is the point.
What's an Irish Newton?
You never heard of an Irish Newton?
What the hell does Newton have to do with being Irish?
It's a cookie. You never
That's
heard of an
Irish Newton?
No, there's an Irish Newton. There really is.
What?
You never heard of an Irish Newton?
Why? Because I'm fat? I got to know about a damn cookie? You're a disgusting human being. You're almost as bad as Ariel Hawani. See, I'm telling you. See,
hey man, but I gotta get going, man. Hey, I appreciate you guys.
Thanks, man. Thank you for calling, man.
You guys
Stay in touch.
I wish you nothing but success, and I appreciate you guys clearing that up about Khabib, man. I really do. It means a lot, man. Appreciate it.
Stay in touch, man. Follow us.
Hell yeah, he's going to follow us. You don't trust what you're going to say next about Khabib? He's going to start slamming the damn phone down?
Nah,
what the hell? He's got the rest of the damn team saying what are these bastards saying next.
You'll be quite surprised, man. Come up to the gym up here in San Jose. Come up and when all this stuff blows over, when you're able to travel again and things are a little bit back to normal. I mean, come up to the gym, man. You'll actually have a really surprising welcome there, and we welcome everybody as long as your intentions are good. And that's it, man.
Well, Justin, could you do us a favor? Could you do us a favor? Could you reach out to them? And we would love to come out there and do a live show over there and interview some of the fighters over there.
Okay. Well, what was the favor?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you. You went in and out. What was that?
I said, but what was the favor?
No. Could you do it? Oh, could you do us a favor? Could you reach out to your coaches over there and see if we can talk to them and maybe come out there and do a live show over there?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I mean, they ain't gonna put up with you talking shit about Khabib.
No, we'll zip it. We'll zip it on. First of all, we do not talk. I will tell you this straight out. Khabib is one of my favorite fighters in the UFC. So whatever you think of me thinking that Khabib isn't a great fighter, ask anybody that knows me and knows anything about me. Khabib is one of my favorite fighters. I respect him. I respect his father. I respect everything that he has done for the UFC and where he has gone in the UFC and where he comes from a very poor country, a dangerous country. So as far as I'm concerned, I know a lot about Khabib than you think I do, and I respect him as a fighter. There's no question that I do. I speak my opinion to what I see. That's all. And I have nothing against him as a fighter.
We'll have you guys on. Our teammate Josh Thompson has a podcast too. You guys can come on there as well.
Absolutely.
You can also come and interview man. Come on down, man. You'll have grab some grub, man. We have a full-on cafe. AK Center is not just it's a family.
He's gonna poison your ass. He's gonna poison your ass.
Well, Anthony,
you know it's gonna be a problem when the fat guy ain't eating. I'm gonna trust that.
Do you have any Irish Newtons there?
You're good.
Irish Newtons, you got any Guinea Oreos while we're at it? What the hell?
If you guys say like it's really about the passion of the fighters and stuff, there's a lot of up and coming guys I would love to, there's we got a lot of great teammates.
In all seriousness,
we don't have that much.
In all seriousness, we stand by what we say, and I will say it over and over again until we're blue in the face. The younger talent does not get enough exposure, and unfortunately, they only get the spotlight when they build up their record. And Dana feels the need to put a production together and such, and we'll stand by that. And I'll keep on saying it until production and social media and television proves me wrong.
Yeah, and I just want to publicly say too, man. I just want to shout out, Justin Gaethje, man. We wrestled together, and I want to tell you, man. Like I'm very proud of him, man. I'm absolutely, 100% wish him the best of luck. You ain't gonna win. But hey, it's at least I'm glad that he's made it to a level that even maybe there were times when other people doubted him, man. But I want to send that shout out to Justin Gaethje, man. He knows who I am. He knows this is Justin, man. And I just wanted to tell him, you know what? Good luck, man, and thank you for flying the colors for America. And
Absolutely.
What happens?
Absolutely. I listen.
Respect,
listen. Justin Gaethje is an American. I root him on. I don't think he stands a chance against Khabib. That's just my opinion. But I respect him as an American and everything that he did, and he deserved to win. Again, I just think that I don't think Tony Ferguson really had enough time to be ready for a strong, powerful guy like Justin Gaethje. So that's just my opinion.
No, but no. Wait, he's on the phone now too. Wait, real quick before you go. Who's right? Who's wrong?
No,
if he's a champ, this is what he should have called.
He's going to take Gaethje's side.
No, he's not. He's going to take my side. If Ferguson, because he keeps saying poor Tony Ferguson. If Ferguson is the champ, he's defending the belt and all that stuff. As a champion, he needs to be ready for anything, whether they switch, whatever, and all that stuff. He needs to be able to adapt in that situation, right or wrong.
Who needs to be able to adapt? Justin?
No, Ferguson. Because this guy over here,
in his situation, like,
he said he wasn't ready for. He said he wasn't ready.
He wasn't ready. 2 weeks before the fight, he finds out he's fighting Justin Gaethje.
I mean, what happened with, there's no. I'll tell you what, man. To be honest, what messed him up, and everyone has their own opinion, man. Everybody has to, they can say what they want, but as an athlete, you recognize and your own. He exerted himself by making weight. He didn't have to. The fucking guy shouldn't have had to make weight when he didn't have to. But he drained and exerted himself, making weight to just throw it on Twitter when he didn't have to. So then what did he do? He started going back to training, packing it on again, and your body can't do that, man. You can't as an elite athlete. You can only push your body so far. Yes, your conditioning and cardio may be there. That's okay. That has nothing to do with your body breaking down and when you're getting hit. He doesn't spar like that. Anybody that watches footage of him, he trains a lot of intervals, a lot of circuit training, and he trains a lot of cardio and conditioning. When Justin don't train, man, he didn't wrestle like that. He grinds. He grinds and grinds and grinds because you're going to train. You're going to fight the way you train. I'm not taking nothing away from Tony Ferguson. I'm just saying if you had a Tony Ferguson that was actually, he would have probably gave a little bit better fight, but I do believe the outcome would have been the same because you can't deny technique and cameras don't lie. I mean, there's always cameras don't lie, and what you see is what you get. So we can sit here and talk and say this could have happened or that could have happened, but the fact is the fact. He got outstriked. He wasn't even. I mean, he didn't duck. He didn't bob. He didn't do anything. He didn't flip any. He was barely flipping any jabs. He wasn't flipping any hooks. I mean, I don't know how many times he got hit and got pop shot. Justin was having his way with Tony Ferguson, and he didn't even bother to try to split those punches because he wanted to be a man, stick his tongue out, smile, and act like he could take it. But in 5 rounds, your body's going to break down. The man should have just been, this is a world title. Let me rest. Let me take my time out. And then when he got a fight, start training again. You can't just put your body through that and think that you're going to just perform at your absolute peak level when you're not peaking. He made weight. He didn't peak. There's a difference. He made weight for the fight, but he wasn't ready for the fight. And that's the thing. But that doesn't discredit anything to what Justin did. I can't say Gaethje didn't do everything he could have because at the end of the day, what if Gaethje would have turned it on and he had a full camp?
Right.
If Gaethje had a full camp, he could have turned it on him a lot more. And he didn't even I'll tell you what, man, people discredit his wrestling. They better not sleep on him, man. And it may not be there's levels to this. Khabib's going to show that. He's going to exploit everything about Justin. And I mean, I'm sorry to say that, man, but I mean, Justin, I'm telling the truth, man, plain and simple. And I mean, if you got a fucking problem with it, I mean, we can, handle that any way you want. but it's the truth, man. And Justin knows that. He didn't even use his wrestling. One of his most prized possessions, which he is good, which he's excelled at, didn't even have to use it against Tony. Tony was either way that result was going to happen. The best Tony Ferguson you would have saw. Technique is technique. And you saw that it was just, he wasn't expecting that Justin Gaethje. He was expecting a grinder that was going to be able to hit and weave and be able to move and use all of his little breakdancing shit. It wasn't going to happen. Justin he didn't expect the footwork, he didn't expect the technique, and he also didn't expect those jabs. And he was setting up all of his punches. If he was trying to sweep him a couple times, but Trevor Whitman, man, he's a beast, dude.
So what you're saying is that you don't feel bad for Tony Ferguson losing?
Fuck no. What am I going to
He doesn't like Tony Ferguson. He doesn't like Tony Ferguson. Now get out of here.
All I want to say, I'm right, you're wrong.
Now, you
we go.
You see what you did? You see what you did, Justin?
He got paid.
There you go. I'm right. Justin said it.
But
you're wrong.
But you said it has nothing to do with money.
No, I'm right. You're wrong. That's it. He said,
"Get out of here. You're not
said
right."
Poor Ferguson.
Not right.
He said, "To hell with him." There you go.
I'll tell you what. All Tony wanted was, to be honest, man. I really do believe he slept on Gaethje, man, and that's how Gaethje's whole wrestling career has been. When guys would be ready to wrestle, and you're wrestling 5-6 times a day, and they think, "Oh, okay, he's wrestled 5 matches. He's going to be done."
See?
They sleep on him, and then he ends
Tony was on Area 51. He was looking for aliens again. There you go.
No, but I will say this, man. But to give Tony credit, man, I'll tell you what. That man may have lost that fight, but I will never discredit a man that won the fight of life outside of the cage. Because what that man dealt with and had to come back from, he's a champion to his son. He's a champion to his wife. He's a champion to his community. So he may not have the UFC belt, but he definitely is a champion. And he also won a world title. So I will never discredit any man that wins a world title. He won that title. Can't nobody take that shit from him. Can't take that credit anyway from him. And they can't discredit for what the man's done. Do I think any other lightweight would beat him? Absolutely not. I mean, outside of Khabib, and I mean, obviously we saw that, Justin can do what he can do. Is there any other lightweight that can really take it to Tony? Probably not. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. He's still a champion at home, and that's what matters. If his intent was only to just fight Khabib, well, then shit, he already dropped the ball and lost it. He's already a failure then. If his only intent was to fight Khabib, and that's his world desire, it didn't matter. At the end of the day, he still would have lost his belt. You got to be comfortable with who you are at home. You got to look yourself in the mirror and be good with the man you are. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Justin goes in with that kind of confidence. That's why I wish him the best of luck. That's why I would not ask for anyone else to fly the colors of red, white, and blue in this great country, man, because he's absolutely an ambassador for this country. It's just going to be a tough result. There's going to be a lot of us sad on that day because Khabib's going to win.
Justin, thank you for joining us.
AKA best gym in the world, AKA the greatest gym ever.
Justin, thank you for joining us. Is this your...
Coach Bob Cook, Beacon Entertainment. Bob Cook, Coach Hobbs. I'm telling you, DC, what up, baby?
Justin, is this your number, man?
Nah, I called you off of an app number.
Okay. Well, you got this number.
I couldn't call you off my personal number.
No. Send us. No. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to send me your email. You can actually send me your email over here, and we'll stay in touch.
Okay.
Okay. So this is the number. Just text me your email, and we'll stay in touch.
Okay.
All right,
man. Come up here to.
Absolutely.
Where the hell are you guys?
We're in Long Island, man.
We're in Long Island. We're down the street from Long Island MMA and all that.
Hey, man, hey, Chris Weidman, man.
Yes.
You better tell that boy. He knows about me. Go down to Law MMA. Ask Chris Weidman about who Justin Ruin is.
We will. I know Chris.
Ray Longo knows me very well.
All right. So do me a favor, man. I'm serious. Send me your email address, and we'll stay in touch.
All right.
Thank you for calling.
Garden City. That's where it's at, man. Garden City's where.
Garden City. That's right.
Garden City.
Yep.
Yeah, Garden City.
And Chris Weidman is an All-American wrestler from Hofstra University. I know.
Yeah, man. He's an NCAA All-American.
I know Chris very, very well, my friend.
Cool, man. Well, all right, you guys come up here, man. Get some of that beach life on you.
Absolutely.
And,
Absolutely.
We'll have fun. You can come up here and hang out with us.
Absolutely.
Cool, dude.
Absolutely. Definitely text me your email. I'll stay in touch with you, my friend.
Yeah, dude. I'll text you. I'll text you, man.
All right, man. I appreciate it.
All right, man.
Thank you. Justin Ruin, UFC fighter. That was great. Great. And analytically and really just everything that he said, it went back and forth, Bant. It was great. It really was.
I don't know about the aerial stuff, though. Sorry.
That dragged our show, my friend. I did.
It's called bonus time.
No, it is bonus time. That's deep bonus time. Deep. So you want to finish your picks so we can get out of here?
I thought I did.
Did you finish your picks?
Yeah.
Okay. So why don't you say your picks again so we can get this done and we can get out of here, okay?
The 5-fighter parlay for Jeff, who's probably still waiting for them. I don't know if he caught it yet or he's drinking. But anyway, Matt Brown, Claudia Gadelha, Anthony Hernandez, Mara Borella, and Walt Harris. Those are the 5 picks for tomorrow night's UFC Fight Night.
One more time?
The immortal Matt Brown, Claudia Gadelha, Walt Harris, Mara Borella, and Anthony Hernandez.
And that is your parlay. Anthony's parlay of the week. As you guys know, you can reach us by going to our website at www.worldwidesportsradio.com. You can follow our app. Guys, if you have iOS, Apple, go to WWSRN. If you have Android, go to Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
And on Instagram as well.
Yes.
We have a Caged in MMA now.
Yes, we do. 631-965-4990 is the number to call. That's it. It was a great show, Anthony. Definitely got the insight of everything that's going on with shout out to Tara for joining us. Shout out to
Jerome
Mickle and Justin Ruin, surprise guest, calls the show. So that was a great interview. So back and forth banter, really, really, really educated. 3 guests.
And I'm right. You're wrong.
You're wrong.
I'm right.
You're
Power
wrong.
Animal. Panda, right, Errol,
Mr.
Gratitude.
Gratitude.
That you're not always wrong, but wrong.
Gratitude. Mr.
Done.
Gratitude.
Over.
Mr. Gratitude, ladies and gentlemen. Oh! You know, for 1 second, we'll put him on quickly. What's up, Jeff?
What a great show that was. I enjoyed it.
Walt
It was
Harris,
literally like
Gadelha, Borella. You hear me? Write this down. Come on, man. I'm good. I'm getting you like $6,000 now. If you're going for another $250.
Go.
Walt Harris, Borella, Gadelha. You gotten it? Or you want me to slow it down?
Got it.
Harris, Borella, Mara Borella. It's chick fight. I'm sorry, female fight. Sorry. We're going to get another phone call now. Walt Harris, Mara Borella, Gadelha, Matt Brown, Anthony Hernandez. Got it?
Really, Matt Brown.
Immortal Matt Brown. There's your puncher's chance. You get in there with that, boy. I'm telling you, this young buck, he's not going in there with some old guy. Matt Brown just turns it on, man.
But that young kid's, what is he, 8 or 9-0?
He's 9-0, but if you look, he has not been tested by anybody like Matt Brown. That guy's always in a fight. Always.
You enjoyed the show, Jeff?
Yeah, it was terrific. It's always fun watching you guys interview diminished capacity. It's amazing.
Diminished capacity. Jeff, why is it that the UFC decided to rent out a whole goddamn arena when they're not allowing people in it?
Well, but you still got to have,
the echoing?
I get it.
Is it the acoustics?
There's a small venue on the west coast of Florida. It's called the Manatee County Civic Center, right? And then, that one might be able to do it. But, where do you find small arenas anymore? Because you still have to have the scoreboards. You still have to
Bro, you could have did that in a gym. You could have did it in a gym.
Can you? Are gyms big enough to have lockers?
The Ultimate Fire TV show does. Fighters? The Ultimate Fire TV show does.
Yeah, but that's a joke.
Just saying. It happens.
There's a lot of jokes.
That hasn't.
Jeff, go call your bookie right now before the odds change, and then you're going to bitch at me for not getting you $6,000, getting you $5,000 instead. Call your bookie,
buddy. I'm on it.
Dude, if the odds change because you're dilly dallying with me, I'm not to blame for this. I did this parlay for you. We had it right here. You know how hard it is to get a graphic between a fat man like me and another person? I was sweating over here with the mouse.
So what happens now if I follow, quote unquote, the experts' picks and they flop again?
You're not going to flop. I threw the puncher's chance in the flop. I just heard a door change. I just heard a door. He's going to see the bookie. He's going to see the bookie.
He's going swimming.
We should be Skyping him going to see the bookie. Could have blurred out the bookie's face and everything.
I'll be at the bar later with them and stuff, but, I'm really curious. That Matt Brown one is a pretty curious pick. I don't hate it, but, he's
I mean, what is he? Isn't he like minus 240?
Let's put it this way:
Or
after the last
240
fight
or
night,
something?
with all these old vets just doing what they do just to stay in shape and knocking people the hell out, can you really say that Matt Brown Brent Rothwell won? Okay, we had all the guys over 45 win a couple of nights ago. Now we're going to question Matt Brown. There is a little method in my madness. You know I had you on my mind when I made that pick, Jeff. Do you know that? How many people do you really think that give me anxiety worrying about my picks? And I had to worry about Jeff.
I respect Matt Brown and his abilities, but that young kid, he puts people to sleep.
Yeah, but when it goes to a decision, as shitty as those judges are, and yes, I cursed, as shitty as they are, I did it again, you don't know what's going to happen.
There you go, Jeff. There you go.
I mean, that's fair enough, but, still skeptical after this guy spent his life on freaking Ferguson last
You're going to change. The odds are going to change because everybody's going to be picking this stuff now.
Jeff, we got to go, my friend.
Awesome. You gentlemen, enjoy your weekend. Dude, I'm telling you, I'm coming for you. These picks don't come in. I'm coming for you.
Thanks, Jeff. Jeff from Tampa.
Florida correspondent.
Well, that's it for our show. As you guys know, we will be back in 2 weeks. We are going to have Anthony Hernandez, who will be on the card tomorrow. It's going to be fun, so stay tuned for that. We have a great week lined up. We have a debate war with POS, the Worldwide Sports Radio and Down to the Wire versus PSO. On Thursday. Stay tuned for that. We have a couple of ex-NFL players joining us this week as special guests, so stay tuned. That's it. Anthony, have anything to say before we go?
This is going to be an interesting show this next coming show if Anthony Hernandez screws up my parlay. I'm just saying it right now. And hopefully Jeff will call in.
As you guys know, follow us on our app. Until 2 weeks, this is Errol Marks and Anthony Anderosi saying good night, and we'll talk to you then. Good night, everybody.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.